The question, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let me finish. Polight says that they were colonized and brought Islam. I can prove to you that the founding members of the Islamic Empire is what you would call Africans today. They left monuments, they left their language, and they founded the system. It's an old system. Take the name away, it's a system designed to implement the laws of God or the Creator. Period. They built universities, they built cities, they rebuilt, and they put white people in a fucking suitcase. Rome, the Sassanids, and the Persians, the same people who were attacking Kemet. Really? You are not a historian, that's your problem. You are picking and choosing and you don't know lineage.
I guess my gripe with the situation would be, and I know you had to hear this before, and I haven't heard you respond to it. I haven't heard no one pose it to you, and I would surmise that these brothers are going to ask you this question that day. Come on. Number one question I have to ask you. If you contend that this Bible is fabricated, tainted, and not as good for our people as the Quran is, the Quran is an offspring of the Bible. You ain't telling me no way around it. The Quran, hold on. The Quran makes mention.
That's your statement.
The Quran makes mention. Hold on.
There we go.
The Quran.
Hey, I got another suicide coming right now.
Yo, we want it. We want it.
We're going in.
Hold on. The Quran makes mention of the same fairy tale niggas that the Bible make mention of.
No, sir.
I agree.
No, sir.
Unless you telling me Abraham and Ibrahim.
Turn the camera on me.
Hold on. We just gotta ask you.
Let's get finished.
I'm going to be humble.
No.
I'm going to be humble.
One premise. We're scientists. We don't have to guess. If somebody asks you, what is the spiritual or force or power that's controlling all things in creation, most people don't know because they're not astronomers. If you're an astronomer, you can go right to the Sagittarius A constellation, which is right at the middle of the Milky Way galaxy, and it is at the core of turning and moving everything in the system that we live in. So we can identify a black force that's moving 16 stars, the sun, and the solar system. It's moving it. It's a force. So now, is that force an extraterrestrial? No. It's just a scientific force. How we teach Islam, how I teach Islam, is that force and power is most dominant in the melanin people. So if you want to see the Creator, you want to see the Creator's power, look at an original man following the laws of the Creator. We can see God right here. Okay. So it's that simple. It ain't no deep thing. Now, the question is, if you're going to talk about religion, you have to be a historian. You can't talk about religion and not be a historian. The only reason we are mentioning these books is because they were written by the same people.
That's true.
And one of them was tampered with by white people to destroy this black man's history. It's not a mistake that all throughout Africa you see people who follow Islam. They're not stupid. They just got trapped later.
I have a brother right here that had took on Dr. Ali Muhammad. Who? And he's a Imam.
Who took on Ali Muhammad?
I'm gonna show you right now. He's an Imam. He's standing right amongst us. So I want to know,
where he at?
Where does Islam stand in our teaching, brother? Is Islam the way to go for our people?
This is what I'm gonna tell you. I'm not a religion basher. Or now religious people say what they do is not religion.
Right.
So what I'm gonna say is this. If it's gonna get the people off of drugs, okay, if it's gonna stop them from killing each other, hold on. I'm not gonna buck dance. I'm not gonna buck dance.
All right, go ahead.
Right now, if it's a stepping stone,
right?
If it's a stepping stone that they can use to cultivate themselves, then we walk with it. But so long as the people teaching or doing that, hold on. Now let me finish. Let me finish. Now I'm not buck dancing. You gotta let me finish, man. Let me finish, man. If the people that are doing, the indoctrination are convincing you that you should not study other reading material because this religion is it, then we know that we have insecurity.
Right, well, is Islam a man-made religion? Did God come down and write the Quran, or is that man-made as well?
All those religions are man-made, man.
That's what there you go. I don't want you to buck this. Keep it real.
They're all man-made religions.
Here's the Imam right here that took on Dr. Ali Muhammad. Imam Bashir.
Oh, what's up,
Come
brother?
on over here, brother.
Peace, brother.
You don't come to Harlem and don't get it in. You got to get it in.
Come on, let's do it,
You
brother.
don't get this work right now. Now, Bashir.
Well, I agree with him.
You agree that Islam is man-made?
It always came through man.
Right, so that means it was man-made. God ain't had nothing to do with it, though.
No, that's not what that means.
All
That
right,
means
go.
that there was a message given to man. Man took it in his mind, and then he put it on books, so on and so forth.
So are you aware that the Arabs came into Africa, raped and kidnapped us, and we were slaughtered in the name of Allah? If we didn't take our shahada, just like when the Jews was ran out of there, they had to convert to Christianity just to stop themselves from being slaughtered. So
That's
just
true.
like African people, they had to convert to Islam
By force.
By force. Are you aware
Listen,
of that, bro?
first of all,
Does such a story even exist? That's the
Sheikh
question.
Anta Diop.
Yes, go ahead.
Let me start here. When you're dealing with Islam, you got to deal with Islam versus what the people do, because the people can always go astray from the teachings. So when the Quran expresses how you deal with mankind, and you see the opposite treatment of that, you can't, give that to the people that claim in Islam. However, scholars such as Sheikh Anta Diop said that, when the Islam came in, it came through peace, and actually the Berbers, they took the message and gave it to the African people, and that's how the people started accepting Islam. Now later on, you had robberies amongst, those that have already accepted Islam, such as in the Sudan. In the Sudan, you have problems with Muslims and Christians. However, those Muslims that we're talking about are black people. Where are you going to stop being so selective in the information? Because it's other scholars as well that mentioned that when the Muslims came in, they came in peace. They didn't come in just slashing. This is what they'll tell you. Oh, that's easy to show and prove. At least 5, 6 different scholars, brother. Islam in itself has been the most powerful force to raise black people. And it's unfortunate that we want to, what really happens is we take the Bible and then we say, well, religion is bad. But really, we're talking about Christianity. Because nobody can mess with this Holy Quran. Nobody can mess with this Holy Quran.
So the Holy Quran is
when it comes, no. Yeah, of course it is. Of course
it has never been tampered with?
Of course it is. Of course it happened. Of course
It hasn't been tampered
No,
with?
sir. And if you want to bring up Uthman ibn Affan, and Quran burning, so on and so forth.
Here's a couple questions, man.
All right, go ahead.
Here's a couple questions. Which one come first? Arabic or Arabic Fusha or Greek?
Arabic.
Which one come first? Arabic Fusha, or French?
Arabic.
Okay, so when a person makes salat, if we go into that word etymologically, we're going to find salute in French. It comes from a French word.
Wait.
Now,
You can't go etymology
Hold on,
with
no.
something that came after.
Hold on, brother. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. If Muslims are making salat, and that's the word that they are using, okay? Because you're saying that no one can mess with the Quran, no one can tamper with the Quran, and all this other stuff. Listen, if Muslims can make salat, and etymologically, when we trace that Arabic word back, we're going to wind up in France. And if we call on Isa and we check that Arabic word etymologically, it's going to go back to Greece. Isa is a Greek word, but that's what you call Jesus.
That's not
go
true.
ahead.
That's not true, but go ahead.
Isa ibn Maryam, who's that?
Isus would be the Greek.
No, I'm going to say this.
Isus.
I'm going to say this.
Not Isa.
I'm going to say this. Let me do it like this.
Go ahead.
Let me do it like this.
Go ahead.
This is very easy to do. If we look up the derivative of the word Isa, as in Isa ibn Maryam, or Jesus son of Mary, if we look up the word on your own personal time, you will find that it has a Greek derivative. And if you look up the word salat as another example, and you'll see that from Arabic you're going to wind up going into France. Now if Arabic is first and those languages didn't exist like he confirmed, then it stands to reason that Greek people and French people had their hands in the making of the Quran at some point or the other, or the tampering of the Quran. So that's what I'm saying.
You know what a hysterectomy is, right? That's snatching your uterus out. Literally. So now what happens after that uterus is snatched out? I'm gonna make a point. I'm coming to this point. After it's snatched out, there's a company. It's a Fortune 500 company called Life Bank USA. Right. They buy the uteruses, they buy cord blood, they buy that stuff.
This is true.
And who do they sell it to? They sell it to Celgene.
Yeah.
Celgene is another Fortune 500 company that deals with organ regeneration, primarily for old white people.
Right, this is true.
So now you have black women walking around with SNAP, WIC, and all types of welfare in said poverty, but they're feeding Fortune 500 companies.
That's right. This is true.
Now, the Quran or the Bible or some ancient scripture could tell you that abortion and all of these things are haram. You shouldn't be doing these particular things. So now if you're walking around in modern age in high heels on birth control, getting your uterus snatched out, and you telling me I don't like religion, but the book has a fucking answer for you, you showing me how ignorant you are. It's not the book that can save you, but what I'm saying is we cannot dishonor the intelligence of our ancestors.
Well, I guess my gripe with the situation would be, and I know you had to hear this before, and I haven't heard you respond to it. I haven't heard no one pose it to you, and I would surmise that these brothers are going to ask you this question that day.
Come on.
Number one question I have to ask you. If you contend that this Bible is fabricated, tainted, and not as good for our people as the Quran is, the Quran is an offspring of the Bible. You ain't telling me no way around it. The Quran, hold on. The Quran makes mention.
That's your statement.
The Quran makes mention. Hold on.
There you go.
The Quran.
Hey, I got another suicide coming right now.
Yo, we want it. We want it. We want it.
We're going in.
Hold on. The Quran makes mention of the same fairy tale niggas that the Bible make mention
No,
of.
sir.
I agree.
No, sir.
Unless you telling me
No,
Abraham and Ibrahim.
Turn the camera on me.
Hold on.
Hold on. We just gotta ask you.
Let him finish.
I'm going to be humble.
No.
And I'm
He
gonna-
made one
No,
premise.
I'm gonna
He
be
made
humble.
one premise.
I'm
He
gonna
made
be
one
humble.
premise.
That's just rhetoric. There's no way.
not rhetoric.
Wait,
Let's
hold
look
on,
it
let
up.
me tell you out. No.
Go ahead.
You're talking about the words. The first thing is,
Yes,
you
language.
can't tell me that linguistically the Arabic language preceded French and Greek.
It does.
But yet, hold up. But yet you're saying, but because these words are used and can be found in that language, they had to be a part of creating the Quran. That's not true. If you take one of the latest English to the latest languages to come into existence is English. English is compiled of many different words from many different languages. So that would be like saying, okay, this new language borrowed from other languages, so this is obviously where it derived from, and that's not linguistically correct.
Let's go ahead.
So hold up. So when you're talking about Isa, first of all, the Greek is Isus.
We know that.
They generally spell it I-E-S-O-U-S.
This is correct.
Now, when you're looking at Semitic languages, a lot of these languages have connections, and you can see the relation between each other, especially when you're dealing with the Arabic or the Hebrew
This is
letters,
true.
right? So the word Isa in itself is proven to be Aramaic, and it's also used in Sanskrit and other places as well. So it shows us that this word was used across the land in the Middle East way before Greek or French influence
Brother,
came
this
in.
is the only reason why people don't like religion. Because now when you start
part of that?
when we
You gotta
start
let him
dealing
talk.
with
He let
facts,
you talk. You
when
gotta
we
let him
start
talk.
dealing with facts,
Okay.
then we go through a problem. Like for instance, do y'all not say that Prophet Muhammad was illiterate?
Yes.
Yes.
Yet, when the angel came to speak to Muhammad with the recitation called the Quran, he told him to ikra, read, correct, in his own what? Lisan, which is in the Hebrew lashon, which is in the Padic lasun, which all means tongue. Now, why are you telling, how does an illiterate man receive a book to read? You understand? Yeah. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. If we study the language, phonetically, the word can allude to mother. But if you study the language, Ummi also means unlearned in scriptural language. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you can't read at all. It means you can't read the dialect of a certain scripture. But just something as simple as that. When blacks take on something that's not part of their culture, 'cause let me tell you something. If Islam was black people's culture, black people would know this.
That's right.
But if Islam is not black people's culture, we have to rely on the people that gave it to us to walk us through the culture.
Yeah.
So the whole time they teach us, a man received the book and was told to read the book and couldn't read, and he's the one that's saying this book is good. How the hell does a man that can't read go around the world telling people that this book is a good book to read, you need to live by this book? But truth be told, the word that they use for illiterate is ummi, and it means unlearned, or what they would say scripturally, unlettered, which means that it's hard to understand in that dialect. And that's why he said read this in your own tongue, because in turn, Quran would actually mean recitation. They had to be recited to him in his tongue, because he wouldn't be able to understand it in the Quraysh. He was of the Quraysh tribe, hence the term Quran. He was of the Quraysh tribe. And then we go deeper. If you ask a Muslim, what was Prophet Muhammad's family's last name before he became Abdullah? they'll be afraid to answer any learned Muslim.
Well, let's.
No, what you heard so far, it was a bunch of intellectual ejaculation. That's it.
That's what they do
That's
all the time.
it. So look, so first the brothers say that we're talking about, is Islam good for our people? So he takes us to, well, Isa is actually in the Greek, it's actually in the French, garbage, get an X there. Then he takes you into, well, Muhammad couldn't read, he was illiterate.
That's what y'all teach.
But look, in the definition that he gave you, he already basically told you that he was functionally illiterate. So when you're functionally illiterate, that doesn't mean that you don't have the capability to write or to recite or understand. It's just a representation to let us know that this person is not a person that went through K through 12 and then also went to college and also got their PhD. So this is hold on, wait.
That again
This
is
is irrelevant. This is irrelevant to the condition of our people and what Islam has to give to it. So when we're talking about 73% of black women running single family households, when we're talking about 54 or 55% of black children dropping out of school, when we're talking about how we are dealing with one another when it comes to social relationships, our family relationships, these are the answers that we need. And there's no doubt that anyone is going to be able to sit here and prove that Islam can't reform the family, because when I see Elijah Muhammad, I see Islam used regardless as to the different faction that he used of Islam.
He made one premise.
I'm going
First, so then you can.
I'm gonna be
He made
humble.
one premise. He said the Quran makes the mention of the same fairy tale niggas
I'll say it like
that
this.
the Bible does.
I'll say it like
That's
this.
one statement.
I'm gonna say it like this.
Go ahead.
Does Ali Muhammad contend that the Quran makes no mention of the Bible, reading the previous scriptures, or any of the prophets or apostles that the Bible makes mention of? That's what I want to ask. That's what I want to ask Ali Muhammad. Is Ali Muhammad going to say the Quran has no recollection of the Bible? That's what I want to know.
Turn it around.
And if he says no,
Point number one. I can prove in the English and the Arabic, or the so-called Arabic, that the
Go ahead.
Quran makes no mention of following a Bible. One. That's one
not-
point. And
that's
no
not my
one will be able to
question.
defeat
That
me.
wasn't the
And I'll
question.
I'll put money on it.
that wasn't the question.
You
Go
said
ahead.
previous scriptures, then you said Bible.
Does it have any recollection?
Wait, hold on, because we're gonna
Go
be
ahead.
very specific.
That's what we have to
We're not
do.
gonna dance.
So I will ask
The
the question
Bible
again.
makes no mention of the Quran makes no mention of following the Bible. That's point one.
I
Point
never
number
said that.
two.
Go ahead. Never
Point
said
number
that.
two.
But
Point number
that's
two.
still- that's still a
the
strong
Quran.
conviction.
The
You gotta let him go.
The Quran is the only book
Only book to do what?
that will tell you that these stories are allegories. Surah 3, verse 6. Now, and it's the only book that explains the content of the allegories. Let me give you one example where the Bible doesn't do it and the Quran does. One of the most foundational prophets in the scriptures is Noah. They got a goddamn movie on it right now.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
The Bible will tell you that Noah was a man who existed, that he saved himself and 7 other people from a flood.
Go ahead.
Right?
I'm listening.
Go to the book of Gates in Kemet. The book of Gates gives you the picture of Nuh
No doubt.
holding those 8 people
That's right.
in a boat.
Got you. Got you.
But when you read the Medu-Neter, what does it say? And is it comparative and equal to what's in the Quran? That's the question I'm asking you. So now I can prove to you by going into the Quran
hold on. Slow
that
down,
wait,
slow
let me
down,
finish.
slow
No, I'm not gonna slow
You
down.
gotta slow down.
I'm gonna prove. I can prove to you in the debate with the Hebrews or right now on the street.
We gotta slow
that
down.
No.
Please slow down.
I ain't slowing down.
He cut me off.
Hold on.
We gotta
Because
stop.
he know I'm about to make my point. He want me to stop.
Yeah.
Nah, you made a good point.
I can prove to you that
ahead.
those 8 people and that particular thing that showed in the book of Gates is explained in the Quran as the Thamaniya Hamayat Anam, the 8 powers of man.
No
And what
problem.
are they?
No
Whoa.
No problem. Go ahead.
So the flood is given as a symbolic form of chaos. The flood represents chaos.
No problem with
And
none of
Nuh holding the ark represents the order of creation.
No problem with that.
And I can break down to you from that Quran and from the book of Gates where they are synonymous, where I can show you creation's order, and in the Bible I can show you where they fabricated it. And the only reason they went back and approached the story with the Quran was to correct the history of a particular group of people. That's it.
Now let me ask you a
Go
question, my
ahead,
brother.
shoot.
And I wanna make sure I'm making sense.
Say it again.
I need you to hear this. I need you to hear this. My brother is saying that the Quran has no recollection of what transpired in the Bible. Fine.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, that was the question I posed, and you insisted on saying that it didn't grasp this information, whatever the case is. Well,
it doesn't tell you to follow the Bible.
Okay, it doesn't tell you to follow the Bible. I didn't say that either. I didn't say that either.
Okay.
That's why I said I need to stop and ask the questions over. But this is what I want to know. Is he telling me, when I say that the Quran is the offspring of the Bible, I want to know, is he telling me...
Define offspring.
It comes from the content. It has been inspired in this particular case. We're talking about a literary work.
I just solved the problem. I told you the book of James mentioned it first.
No, and that's what I'm about to ask you. That's what I'm about to ask you. So what he's telling me is, no, the Quran don't come from the Bible's content.
The Quran is the offspring of Kemet. That's what I'm saying. Good. That's what I'm saying.
No problem. And this is what I'm asking. Hold on. This is what I'm asking the brother. You gotta let me talk. This is what I'm asking the brother. He contends that the Bible, the Quran. Hold on, my brother. He's saying that the Quran doesn't come from the Bible's content. More rather, that he says this. He said if you study the Bible content, you can tell the Bible stole it from Egypt. Now, if the
corrupted it.
Hold on.
Corrupted it.
So now what he's trying to suggest to us, correct me if I'm wrong, that the Quran had to be created to
correct Kemetic history in a modern time framework.
How come the Muslims don't say the Quran was created to correct ancient Egyptian
not Muslims.
history?
I'm the Muslim you need to talk to.
No.
I see Malcolm X also tell us that Islam is what our people need. We see that Noble Drew Ali also used Islam.
But he wasn't talking about that.
Hold up, wait.
The Arabs. No, you got to keep it real. When Malcolm said we need Islam, he was talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He wasn't talking about following the pair of Arabs.
No, follow the pattern. I ain't tell you to follow no pair of Arabs.
All right.
Follow the pattern. The pattern is you had I just mentioned 3 different individuals that use Islam and use it in different ways.
Here's a question.
Go ahead.
And I love the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Go ahead.
Did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad speak Arabic?
No.
Okay. But
a little.
What we're supposed to learn.
He spoke a little.
He spoke a little Arabic. Hold on. I'm going to come, brother, because I'm making a point. A question has yet to be answered still, for the record.
What is it?
You know what I'm saying? And what was the last name of Prophet Muhammad's parents? Because we identify Prophet Muhammad as Abdullah.
Right.
What was his parents' last name? And I'm going to show you why Islam, the brand of Islam being taught to us, we might as well just let the religion go, because this keeps happening to black people. Every time in search of an identity, we take on these people's mythos. We take on their stories.
That's right.
And it's watered down extracts from our original culture. So what I'm saying is even our leaders and the best effort that they made, they did the best that they can do in the time that they lived in. So I don't want to say nothing to take away from Noble Drew Ali. I don't want to take nothing away from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, one of the greatest people ever. But to tell us, well, they all use Islam, well, you know what? Marcus Garvey was under Catholicism. So should we follow Catholicism because all these other cats were Garveyites before they was doing what they was doing? Should we be under the Catholic Church?
I want him to answer. What was Muhammad's last name? Abdullah.
Yes, Abdullah.
What was his parents' last name? And how did he become Abdullah?
It was Ahmed.
His parents' last name was Abdullah.
Ahmed.
Was it Abdullah or Abdullah?
This is where we got to go.
Was Prophet Muhammad's mother and father?
We're going to have to go to the Arabic.
Right
no problem.
No. It's Abdullah. What are you talking about?
To do that.
It's Abdullah.
Come on, man. It's Abdullah.
Do you understand a comment?
This is why we got to pull out the Arabic.
I'm going to ask you a
and
question.
read the Arabic.
I'm going to ask you a
and then
question.
we'll be able to see.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Instead of talking.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you know, as far as Arabic is concerned, is there a common mistake made with words that end with H and words that end with T?
La.
Is there a common mistake? Now hold on, slow down. Now you're gonna tell me it's not a common mistake made? I can explain to you why it's a common mistake. Because when the word has a Tamabuta on it, okay? Because they added vowels.
What's the Tamabuta?
It's a vowel.
What kind of vowel? What it looks like?
The Tamabuta goes above the letter. And when the
what does it look like?
Originally it's a dot above the letter.
Oh, it's a dot, okay. I'm asking the question. Now, the Tamabuta that he's talking about is really not in classical Arabic. What he's talking about is other contemporary Arabic, because it's called a nukta that goes on the top.
Nukta means dot.
The nukta,
yeah.
right.
Now here's
Is
the
it Nuqta or Tara
now hold on. Now hold on.
Is classical Arabic is when you learn the language, is it Nuqta or Tara Marbuta?
And
Tara Marbuta comes with contemporary Arabic that has a different dialect than the Quranic
Listen,
Arabic.
this is the question. Does the Kisra, does the Dhamma, does the Tara Marbuta, does the Sukun, did any of that exist in original Arabic?
No. No.
So now, your Quran has those constructs called Nukun. It's
Right.
the same thing that happened with the Hebrew text called the Nikudiyin,
Go
which
ahead.
are a dot system.
Right.
What is it that we understand? Do you understand the point being made?
No.
And I'm gonna give you the point. You said no, so let me explain
right
to you.
there real quick.
I'm
If you
explain
wanna
something to you.
If you want to say we can mistake a ta from a ha, and we have the
No, I'm not saying that.
Wait,
I'm not saying
you
that.
did say that.
I'm not saying that.
You said that.
I'm not saying-
You said
I
the
said-
ta and the ha can be mixed up with one
No,
another.
I said
Right.
this, and you can rewind it.
All right, go
I
ahead.
said, is it a common mistake
Is it a
for
common-
words that have the H
Tomato,
at the end of it?
tomato. Right.
Hold on. No, it's not tomato, tomato.
Right.
Because one is based on a person who has knowledge of Arabic, and another is based on a person who has knowledge of English, trying to understand an Arabic text. So,
That's not you?
Hold on, brother. That's not
not
me.
you? Oh, okay,
Let me
it's
talk
a
to you,
panel
brother.
law.
Let me talk to you,
Panel
brother.
law. Go ahead.
So, if a person who is engulfing themselves into a Muslim culture,
Somebody got a pen? I got a pen.
this is
I wanna-
interesting, but can I
wanna
talk?
write this out. Go ahead.
Can I
go
talk?
ahead. No,
When a
go ahead.
person speaks English and they're giving a foreign culture, 'cause remember the conversation is about, is Islam for the people?
Right.
Is religion for the people?
Right.
Let me walk you through a story real quick. Very, very simple, very quick, very cut and dry. I'm explaining something to you about religion. When you go into the Bible, right? You'll find you have the Bible.
Let's go to the Quran.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let's go to the top.
Hold up, you
Hold on,
keep
brother. Let
cutting
me
them
just
off,
build,
man.
brother.
See, when people do that, they don't want you to let
They-
this
they
truth
grow
out.
insecure.
Why we going to the Bible? We're talking about the
I'm
Quran.
gonna-
I'm
No,
going to
I
give
mean,
you a point
When
because
I
you're
come
not
to you,
understanding
we
my
can go
point.
into the
Go ahead,
Quran.
all right.
My brother, you're not understanding the point I'm making, so now I'm gonna take
I'm
you
sorry,
on
beloved,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead,
take you on
go
a
ahead.
short journey,
Somebody
a
got
long
some
walk
paper?
on a short path. But I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Cause this same thing that's going on with all the religions has happened over and over and over again. So this is why we at a point where we're like, we don't need no religions no more.
Right.
So now I'm gonna take you into the Torah or the Tanakh, right? Now when we go into the Tanakh, this is what they do. They walk away, they don't listen.
Right,
Then they come
right.
back here and make me repeat myself 2-3 times. I'm the paper guard. Trust me, I'll write it for you. No,
I'm the Muslim.
I think,
Oh.
no, hold
The
on, hold
Muslim
on,
is the
hold
one
on.
who knows
Hold
the
on,
Quran.
Hold on, stop.
Now you're referring to a defeatist mind state to explain something when I can explain it in real time.
Now let me explain something to you. You know what I
we
know?
dealing with
Let me
police?
explain something to you about Ali
baby.
Muhammad.
Come on, baby.
Let me explain something to you about Ali Muhammad right now. He is exceptionally brilliant.
If you want to
But
me,
hold on.
One at a time.
Hold on.
Go ahead, go ahead.
He is exceptionally brilliant. But he gotta let this damn religion go. What he's doing?
I did.
Hold on, stop.
gotta let
No,
it
you
go.
didn't. Hold on. Let me talk, brother. I'm gonna give it to
show
you.
me my religion then.
I'm gonna,
Show me my
Yo,
God.
I'm coming.
Come on, baby.
I'm coming. You see, what he's doing is, this is a man that loves Islam so much.
I love peace.
This is a man that loves the content in the Quran so much that what he's gonna do, instead of say the Bible and the Quran have a natural affinity, association, affiliation with each other, with the Quran being the latter, he's going to now say, he's going to usurp the plagiarism and the fabrication of the Bible and say the Quran has nothing to do with that. No, the Quran was created to help impress upon the minds of the people that the Bible was tampered with and content was extrapolated out of Egypt. So God now has to say, let's make more confusion. Rather than send people back to the source.
Who is a man?
Hold up. Yeah, a man. I'm glad you said that, because only a man will come up with some weird shit like this. Now we're going to make a Quran that doesn't exactly express we're stealing this information from Egypt. He seems to be the only one that realizes the Quran was created to help punctuate the themes of Egypt, because the Bible failed to interpret Egypt the right way.
No.
Now, how the hell are we going to come up with something like this? He is brilliant, and I believe he loves the Quran so much. I believe he loves the content so much that rather than let it go, he has to validate the information.
See,
because
listen,
he
I
knows
don't need it.
Because
Let me
he
say
knows
something.
this shit
I
come
don't
from
need
Egypt.
it. I don't need it.
Why don't you just?
But my people in Africa.
Why don't you go to
my
Egypt
people in
and-
America, they got it.
Let's hear him.
They got it. So you know what I do? I'm a poor righteous teacher, not poor in economy, but poor in the sense I come from the same place they come from. So that history say they don't know, so they can understand it now, and I have the ability.
I don't have the
So now you become my student, because you have to listen to me, because you never heard it before, and I can validate every word that I'm saying. You cannot,
listen, brother,
you cannot invalidate one word that I'm saying.
So when you go to the Tanakh, right? These guys come down from a mountain and say, God said this.
That's what they do.
Now that's good. God might have even gave them that. Even if it's 613 commandments and these shits was on stone, and I know they wasn't holding all 613, niggas had to go back and forth to that mountain. But we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna ignore that. And this is what we're gonna say. What if God did give us the Tanakh? Then what did man do? Then man came up with a Talmud, a Mishnah, and a Zohar. This was man's interpretation so you can understand God's word a little more. Now we're gonna go into the Bible, right? And what did they do when we got the Bible? They said this is the word of God. And then we have epistles in the Bible, which means what? Letters. Letters of men. Men started writing letters and giving their breakdown about what was going on in the Bible. Now we're gonna go into Islam. And they say God sent us the Quran. But then they give us the Sunnah and they give us the Hadith. Now we're gonna reverse again. Now we have the Torah all over again. Now I just showed you how man keep creating books to so-called get you closer to God, but that's where the confusion comes in, because now we gotta accept a group of people's interpretation who sat there and agreed that this is gonna be how everybody perceives this. Now the next thing is this. Now we already went through the Torah, has the Talmud, the Mishnah, Zohar. We went through the Bible, has the epistles. Okay, we went through the Quran, has the Hadith and the Sunnah. Okay, now we're gonna start over. When we go to the Torah, now we have the what? The Masoretic text, which is when you change the color or the connotation of the words because you're adding vowels. And when the vowels get taken out the text, the words change and the meanings change. But when you add vowels, and the reason why they added vowels, because they didn't want people to properly pronounce the words, because they believed that if you call on the Creator by the right tones, He will respond. If I call you Michael Sarnetta, you're not going to turn around. You're not going to respond to my call. So they believed everybody didn't have the right to call on their Creator's names or the words that they gave us for empowerment. So they added vowels to it. Nikudiyim is what they would call it. Okay, they added vowels in the Torah. Now, what we'll see is this. When we go to the Bible, they gave us Shakespearean. Understanding most people could barely understand English the right way. I'm not talking about the English we speaking now. Right. It's still a broken brand. They're going to put it in Shakespearean so only a small group of people could really understand it. Now, hold on. Now we're going to go to the Quran. And when we go to the Quran, guess what we're going to see? Now when we go to the Quran, they also added a vowel system of Nukta, as he explained. But guess what happens when we add these vowels now to the words? The words change in meaning, and a lot could turn into an Allah because of this new system of vowels, because the H and the T are interchangeable. I wouldn't say interchangeable, they can be replaced by each other, by Tar Mabuta. It can be, and that's the exact image that is used to change the name. So in conclusion, to change a word, like for instance, Allah can be a lot if you study the language. And if you study the language and during the Jahiliyyah period, which is what they call the pre-Islamic era, which means ignorance, because they said people was ignorant before they got Islam. During the Jahiliyyah period, Prophet Muhammad's parents was known as Abdullah with a T at the end. And it's no coincidence. If we study the Igbo tribe or Igbo tribe of Nigeria, we'll find that their God of creation is called. So my point is, they change the words every time, scripture to scripture. They change the conversation throughout every religion. Men add letters, they add their conversations, they add their traditions, and they add their vowels to take you away from the original message. And if that's going to be the case, give them back their religion, because black man, black woman, you don't understand it yourself.
There you go.
You're learning from them.
All right, my brother. I mean, I know he said a lot. Can you answer some of those?
I can answer this very shortly, because the thing is that we have to understand our problems is what's happening in our household. Our problems is what we're going through in this very life. So what are the solutions that's going to alleviate those problems? This is what Islam is for. What he's talking about, you have to know linguistically what the Quran is saying in the Arabic. Most of us don't know that. But check this. What he's saying about the nuqtas being placed there, any person that learns Arabic knows that this is for non-Arab speaking people, so they can teach you how to pronounce the vowels. For example, watch this. without the nuqtas, I can take this and I can write without nuqtas.
I got the roll up.
This word here.
It still be Allah.
Right?
It still be
Which is Allah. This word in Arabic is Allah.
Let me see
now,
it. Let me see it.
Go ahead.
Right. Now let's put the nuqtas there. So, and I'm going to show you how this works. So that way, when a non-speaking Arab-speaking person, you can say this sound here makes a sound. So everybody make the sound. We're gonna learn Arabic real quick. This sound here makes another sound, right? The line, right?
That's a shadda.
This shadda here, the W brings a double sound.
That's right.
So you make the sound and you bring it double. Allah, all right, and add the end. With a non-speaking Arab, a person that don't speak Arabic will not understand how to make this connection. That's what they are for. Now this is how I'm gonna expose what the brother is saying now. Hold up, we're gonna expose it. We're gonna expose
Use
it.
the time.
Now first,
Go ahead.
how many ha's are there in the Arabic language and their pronunciation?
There's 3 ha's.
What are they? Can you pronounce them?
Ha, ha, ha.
Now, if you look here, can you write them for me?
Brother.
No, can you write them for me?
No.
All right, look. See if I'm correct since you said them, right? Now, this here would be what? A ha, right? This is a ha, right? This also is a ha. Excuse the messy writing, right? This one here is not a ha. Now, what the brother is saying is that, and when you use the nuqtas, the ha here has 2 dots. 2 dots. This will make this ta. This here is a ha.
But what is your point,
hold up,
brother?
wait, I'm about to explain, because you don't know the Arabic, you're not following me. But listen closely so you can understand that they are not commonly a mistake. The Arabs and people that know Arabic don't make that mistake, because there's a big difference between this ha and that, right? So how can you make the mistake of saying, oh, this means that, or even this means that, when you can see the pattern? You can see the pattern.
Can I ask you a
understand?
That has nothing to do with what I was talking about.
Is there racism in Islam?
Is there racism? There's no racism in Islam.
Come on, you telling me this?
Listen to me. Listen closely.
Nah, let's go back.
Listen closely.
Stop.
Wait, listen
Let's go
closely.
back to the language.
Because you're an Arab. No, let's get this right, man. Arab is not synonymous with Islam.
It's racism and everything. So first
Arab
of all,
is not
you should not even
synonymous
have
with
gone
Islam.
that. You should not even go in that direction, man.
What are you talking about?
You should just keep it 100 and say it does exist, but it don't exist everywhere. Just be humble, man.
No.
Don't.
First of all, how could what the word Islam mean rather than a person that's called a Muslim? All Arabs are not Muslim, contrary to popular belief. In fact, the Arabs are the smallest majority of the Muslims in the world.
Listen, there's discrimination in Islam.
No, there's discrimination in the world that people are claiming Islam, but not in that Quran. You ain't gonna find racism in that Quran.
You're gonna find chauvinism.
Show me where the racism and chauvinism is in the Holy Quran.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What does Rahim mean? What translate that, brother? First of all, translate that.
I seek refuge with Allah from the accursed Satan, in the name of Allah, the gracious and merciful.
The what?
The gracious and merciful.
What word are you describing as merciful? Is that Rahim?
Rahman.
Rahman el-Rahim. Rahim, right?
Rahim, yes sir.
Does the word Rahim mean womb?
No. That.
The word doesn't mean Rahum. The trilateral root in Arabic RHM. That doesn't allude to womb?
Aki.
Does it not mean womb?
It doesn't mean womb.
Now what I'm gonna ask y'all to do, because this is gonna be null and void, do your research and put the word womb next to Rahim. And what you're gonna find is that now I want you to translate it again, brother. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. They're seeking refuge in Allah's womb. And any Arabic speaking person, if you say, brother, does Rahim mean womb? They will not be insecure.
First of all, hold on.
Let him go.
Hold on. I just asked him to translate it again.
And he ain't want to.
No.
He ain't want to.
For what? But you said it wrong again.
Can you do me a favor?
One is Rajim and one is Rahim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Not Rahim.
Listen.
It's not Rahim, huh?
Listen.
Man. Stop playing.
Listen. All you gotta do is go to any Arabic speaking person. Go ahead. billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillah.
You just said Rajim. You just said Rajim.
El-Rahman.
You just said Rajim. I'm glad it's on tape. So wait. Is it Rajim or Rahim in seeking refuge with Allah from the cursed Satan? Which one is it?
Rajim.
It's Rajim.
It's Rajim.
So Rajim and Rahim and Rahman, they're totally different, beloved. They're totally different. So how you trying to make Rajim synonymous with Rahim or Rahman? How can you do that?
One of those words, brother. Listen carefully.
Go ahead.
Listen carefully.
Go ahead.
I'll only ask you a simple question.
Go ahead.
Does any word in there allude to womb?
No.
None of those words in there allude to womb.
No.
So again, I'm going to ask y'all to do your research. I'm going to ask y'all. Did you find something?
Right there.
Oh!
Go ahead.
Hold on. Pull it back.
got the
Go
womb
back.
right
Go back.
there.
Go back.
Oh,
Go back.
see?
Go back.
Oh, because it's on the internet, it must be true.
No, I said no, because you saying it must be true. I said look it up.
Right.
I didn't say because Polight said it.
a little bit more than
Hold
the
on,
Google
hold
search
on,
to look
brother.
up Arabic.
Hold on, stop.
To look
Where's
up
that?
Arabic.
Show me where it's
Are you
at.
kidding me?
Rahim.
Let me see.
Rahim.
Scroll down.
Let me see. What is it?
R-H-M. Like I said, it's a trilateral root. Post about Rahman, Rahim, womb. Okay? Now these are all, if you Google it, you're going to see nothing but posts that show you Rahim goes to womb. And if you speak to any Arabic speaking person, I'm talking about a pale Arab, not a black man that's converted to pale Arab religion.
Yo, hold on. Read from right here.
Okay, the root word Rahmin, from which Rahman and Rahim are derived, literally mean the womb. So Allah has a womb.
Wait.
Hold on. Allah has a womb.
Yeah.
Allah has a womb. Now my problem with Islam, Allah has a womb.
A what?
A womb. All you telling me is
You
this.
can only remix what I'm saying.
All you telling me is this, brother. Hold on.
Do you believe in the Bible in its totality? Do you believe that the Bible is in its purest form, brother?
Well, if you're talking about the King James Version, yes I do.
Oh, God.
If you know how to read the Hebrew, Now the bottom line, that's the bottom line. There are new versions that have been deliberately mistranslated and everything else, right? However, let me get one thing clear, right? When it comes down to this whole issue, it's all about perspective. Like I said before, and I say it again. There's certain things that you know, when the Bible's written, it's either you see it or you don't see it. If you believe it or you don't believe it. If you can't see it or whatever, that's your business. But when it comes to the historical aspect of it, right? Everybody who misconstrues the Bible and have a problem with the Bible, who are the main people that have a problem with the Bible? The people who got shut down by the Lord's chosen people, to the children of Israel. People who live their life in sin have a problem with the Bible. So it's only natural that they come up with these theories and conjectures and discombobulate and straight discombobulate and destroy on the whole nine. Now when it comes down to the issue of hold up.
Everybody who don't like the Bible,
when he speak and I let you speak, I ain't interrupted you.
That's an attack against the people listening, so he's just trying to ask you a question.
So now bottom line, I'll take your question, just give me a second. As you gave your opening, let me give mine.
Go ahead, my brother.
Now the bottom line is, like I said, when it comes down to the lineage and everything else, we come out of Shem, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. But you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, and hold up, because they got their head up Egypt ass and everybody else ass. I'm gonna go hard body on this. That's why you can't see it. Cause you still down. Now, ask your question. Go ahead, give it to me.
Show me in any other text besides the Bible a person named Shem.
Okay, you show me. You show me.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hold up. First of all, First of all, as far as I know, there are no other texts that are going to give credit to Shem. Not even the Quran. Why? Because the people of Ishmael, the Arabs, who wrote the Quran.
Those not Arabs.
Of course, yes they are.
Those are not Arabs.
Moving on. No, you know what? Ishmael. I'll call them by their biblical name, Ishmael. The Ishmaelites. Of course, they gonna tell you that they are the chosen, or the Bible is a book of fiction. According to who? Meanwhile, why every prophecy, everybody on the planet from Louis Farrakhan, hold on.
If you knew
Louis
the doctrine, you know the
Farrakhan and
Ishmaelites
every other
and the
Arab on the
Israelites
planet Earth, right?
are related.
Jump to who? The Bible. They don't go to the Quran. They don't go to the Book of the Dead. They don't go to any other book but the
I have
Bible.
a question for you.
If you know the doctrine, the Ishmaelites and the Israelites have to be related to each other any damn way.
Yeah, we are.
All right, hold on.
Let me ask a question.
So are you Arabs? Are the Hebrew Israelites Arabs?
No, they're not.
So how could the Ishmaelites and the Israelites be related, but
Here's
you're
how
not
we're related,
Arab?
because we're cousins. Now that's how. It's just
Your
that simple.
cousins, so the Arabs are your cousins.
Bottom line. Because there are five.
Arabs are your cousins?
There are 5 classes of Hebrew.
All the Arabs your cousins?
Yes, they are. There are 5 classes of Hebrew.
I didn't see that on the 12
You have
tribe
the
chart.
hold up. You have the Hebrew Israelites. You have the Hebrew Ishmaelites. Then you have there's 5.
The Bible speaks of the Hebrew
That's right.
Ishmaelites.
That's right. They all come out. They come out of Abraham. The bottom line is, who got the blessing? See, that's the
don't
whole
do that.
thing. No, I'm gonna do that. No,
where are you
Polight.
getting the information
Hold up,
from?
Polight. Hold up, Polight.
Where in the Bible does it say there's Hebrew Ishmaelites?
Hold up,
I never heard of that.
Asking you a question.
You never heard of
I
that?
never heard of Hebrew Ishmaelites in my life.
Because you know why? That's just
And
it.
the first time
There are
Israelites
hold
using
on,
the
brother,
Bible, we gotta go
brother,
30 chapters
brother,
down in the
brother,
damn
hold on,
Bible.
One more time.
Go ahead, man.
Now, bottom line is, there are 5 classes of Hebrews.
Go ahead, break it down.
Now, you have the Israelites.
Before you do that,
You
where
have
you
the
getting this information
Ishmaelites.
from?
Okay, you have the Bible.
No,
I'm going to the
no,
Bible.
no,
Hold
no.
on, the Bible.
Talking
Hold
about
on.
5 classes.
When you go back to the time of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Shem, the 3 sons, and the whole 9. That's the problem.
The whole 9, we just don't know about
hold on,
5.
The bottom line is, hold up.
Go ahead.
But now the Lord is the one who made the separation. Okay?
Where is it coming from? The book was written like that for a reason.
Just like just like you got for instance, when you have Esau, the white man, how do you come about? Genesis the 25th chapter. When you go, so-called white.
If you look up the word,
So-called white. Okay, so-called white. I'm gonna say he red.
You said
But the
you
bottom-
could take on General
Hold
Yohanan.
on. No, see, hold up. See,
You know,
like
most
I
of the
said,
times y'all say
you
Esau in the Bible says it's Syrian in the original language.
Hold up, I'm getting compounded questions, but I can't answer one.
Okay, answer one.
Hold up,
Go ahead.
now come on, brother.
Just
Go ahead,
answer
give
one.
me-
Go ahead, Polight.
So the bottom line
What's the
is,
question, Polight?
If the Ishmaelites and the Israelites are in fact related, which they are, and y'all are against Arabs, but y'all say that the Ishmaelites are Arabs and y'all are Israelites, and those are your cousins. Why are you against your cousins? How did your cousins become Arabs and y'all are not Arabs?
Because-
How does this all work out? When did this
Here's
all
why.
take place?
Now, don't
Here's
cut him
why.
And
off.
where in the Bible does it say so when you give your answer?
Now, don't cut him off.
Here's why.
I'll be quiet.
Here's why. When you go to the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter, when it breaks down the nations who took us into captivity, Ishmael is named one of them, Tyree Zidon. They are named as one of the captives who took us into captivity and became our enemies. See, bottom line is, when you take someone's nationality, when you take their culture, their language, and everything else, rape, rob, and pillage them and plunder them, and you have it was the Ishmaelite, the African, the Arabs, and so-called white men. These 3 primary groups are the main ones responsible for our captivity then and our captivity now, because they're the same ones who run the stores all up in our neighborhoods and everything else. But when you go back to the Quran, it's God who made the separation and called them our enemy, because why? Your enemy rapes, robs, and destroys you. Now that whole bond of family is destroyed. Okay? Bottom line.
So my problem with Islam is the black woman is God, and they over here keeping secrets that they pray to a female God.
Give him a
And
chance.
if you go, and if
Give
you
him a
go-
chance, Polight. You
Hold
gotta
on,
let
no.
him clear it
And
out.
if you go to the word of Allah, prior to Prophet Muhammad's coming, his family was worshiping a female god named Alat. And when you
Tahuti
put
broke that
that,
down.
and guess who helped Tahuti with
You
that
helped
part?
him out.
And Tahuti will confirm.
Taramabuta.
Taramabukta. You remember the debate?
That's right.
So listen,
That's right.
I will play like I don't know, because I learned something from my brother Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
When you start messing around with these religious people, they can say what they want on the fly, and then they fans take what they say. So now what I'm going to start doing, when I'm in a discrepancy in a debate on the street, we're going to use our phones so we can confirm if niggas is using the wrong verses, and we're going to confirm when they try to make me out to be a liar by showing me letters. I say, I'm going to humble myself and let this man write the letters as he wants to write them. I'm going to fall back, because you can't play around when people start pushing their shit. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to prove my point nonetheless at the end.
There you go.
So now we found out that Allah has a womb.
Uh-oh.
Now, what do we do? Are you going to humble out and say, brother, you know what, I didn't know it alludes to womb? Brother, I didn't know the word has its root in womb? Or are you still going to say, oh, that's Google and you only have 1,000 results?
Let's hear his response.
First of all,
Are you going to say I'm sorry?
Hold up, wait a second. I'm not saying I'm sorry, because
See, this is why we can't
because
deal
this
with
is what you're
religious
doing. No. You're going to say, first of all, understanding what they're saying was, even if they're going to say it derived from something, the word now does not necessarily.
How come it don't mean that
Hold
now?
on.
That's my
The
point.
word, no, because it derived derived
Who changed it?
It derived from Ra. Now, when you add things to a word, then it changes the meaning of the true essence of the word. So you said yourself, R-A-H, which is Ra, which we're talking about.
I'm talking about trilateral root,
but we're talking, wait a minute. You had a minute. Now, what we're talking about is the word Rahim together. So anytime you want to...
I'm good, brother.
Oh, you good?
Thanks. I'm listening, brother.
Anytime you want to do the etymology, it may take you into something that was different than we're understanding now. The example
But you don't have to go that deep in etymology. That's what the word literally means.
But check, the word Rahim doesn't literally mean that.
The Pale Arabs change the meaning when it goes into the Quran.
The word Rahim doesn't really mean that.
They don't want the people reading to know that, so they change the meaning.
But look, this is what I'm saying. In this type of conversation, you have to prove with putting the Arabic up. We can just talk like this and show the difference. Oh, so what?
Brother,
pull the information
let me show you
up.
something.
When the scholars break down this word of Rahman or Rahim, that R-A-H that you said, they said that it derived from R-A-H. But that doesn't necessarily denote that that's the meaning of the word.
I understand.
Just like if you take school and then you look at the etymology, you will see that it is hell. But hold up. But the reality is that that word has a different essence and connotation.
Brother, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Do you humble out and say?
You said if the word had. I said, do any of those words? Brother, can I talk to you, please? Please. I asked you, do any of these words have anything to do with the womb? You said no. So I said, you know what? Hold on.
Still don't.
Okay, listen. So now that we pulled it up, when we first pulled it up, you said, oh, what? Because it says that over there. What are we supposed to do after you and I speak? That's why you keep hearing me say, you know what? Y'all just go and do research. When I talked to the Israelites, you know what people did?
Do you know what
they went back and realized, hold on. Brother, I hear you. Do you know that when people got to go home and look it up and say, you know what? He didn't use that verse. But you know where they got the whole concept of looking up the verse? God gave the chapter and the verse. So when they go home and do their own research, that's what this is for. This is not necessarily for you and me exclusively. This is for the people so they could definitively conclude. So now I'm asking a question.
The same thing.
No, this is my last thing. I just need to understand my brother's rationale. Because this is that religious shit right here. If you just told me, none of those words have nothing to do with the womb, or did you make an error?
No, I already told you the word Rahman and the word Rahim,
did you make an error?
They do not mean womb.
No. So
they do not
what's
mean
all
womb.
those thousands of results from?
Period. First of all, I just looked at it. I haven't analyzed it all the way.
Okay,
but
so
look,
this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to ask you to go home, analyze it, and come back to Sinetta.
It's easy. Hold up. It's easy enough. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna explain.
You have to show the people.
No, hold on, real quick.
I want to go through
one thing about language. When you're looking at the so-called Proto-Semitic languages, there's something called a trilateral root. I'm gonna show you something, okay? When you go to Hebrew or Nepadic or Arabic, right? You might have makan, right? Makan in Arabic means place. If you go to Hebrew, you're gonna have makom. Makom means place. And the Nepadic, you say makun. Makun means place. But what are the three things you keep hearing? M, K, and N. That's the three-part verb. The consonants make up the essence of the word, and then where you place the vowels becomes a discrepancy in Proto-Semitic languages. I'll do it again. You might have KTB in Hebrew, or you might have KTB in Arabic. But they both gonna allude to book or that which is written or scripture, and even in the Nepadic. Because KTB, so if I say kitab, like Kitabullah, just because I hear the K, the T, and the B, I know it alludes to something dealing with writing, because of trilateral root. So when you deal with RHM, now that shows you Makan, Makon, and Makun in the Nepadic, and Hebrew and Arabic as an example, MKN, but they put the vowels different.
All right, now
the point is this, fam. This is a lesson so people could go in deep. This is a lesson so people could go in deep so they could look it up and say that brother's not lying. When you use R, H, and M, the trilateral root, which means this is the essence of the word, the trilateral root is going to tell you that you're talking about the womb, a literal womb. That's what the trilateral root is going to tell you. Now you may not. Now hold on, my brother. You may not know this, and I can accept that. But what I'm saying is this: after you openly dismiss the facts presented before you, just humble out and just be like, you know what? I did say this, man. Just humble out. That's all, brother. I'm not knocking you.
You can run that. You can run that game to them. You ain't running that game to me.
They the ones who
you
pulled
ain't running
it up.
that game to me.
Oh, man.
When you get it, when you pull out When you pull out,
pulled it up.
when you go
Everybody pulled out their phones and started Googling.
Is he with him?
that's fine.
Or
That's
he's
fine.
just-
Nah, it just came out of it.
We did. We
Oh,
pulled
so
it
he
up.
just heard him speaking about something,
And they all looked
and he
it up.
pulled it up on his phone just like that.
Just like that.
He asked the man too.
So we looking for mercy in Allah's
Look,
womb.
look, let me ask you a question.
Looking for-
Nonetheless,
Let me
we
ask
looking-
another. Let's change the
we
subject.
looking
Here
for
you go.
mercy in
I'm about to
Allah's
change
womb.
the subject.
Africa,
Bottom line, no, it's not.
it's part of Asia,
it's
right?
not.
It's part of Asia,
It's
right?
part of the Middle East, brother.
It's part of
It's
Asia
the
or Africa?
No, it's part of the geographic.
Israel?
No, one more time. It's part of the geographic region known as what? The Middle East.
How
Get it
how-
through your thick
how-
skull.
stop.
Yes,
How
it
the
is.
fuck could the East be in the middle of any damn thing?
Relax,
Think about what the white man
No,
taught
no,
you.
listen, say it
Hold on,
again,
man.
Polight.
How the fuck could the East be in the middle of something? How could something be East and at the middle at the same time?
But it was
Come on, man.
Middle East.
You
There
niggas
was
trying to
no
escape
middle-
Africa,
No,
man.
hold on.
Where the fuck is
hold on,
Israel, man?
hold on. You know what?
Where's Africa?
What the hell
Brother,
is
you
wrong?
gonna have to answer these
Where
questions.
is Africa, man?
Africa is in what we call the Middle East,
Ain't
or
no
the
fucking
East.
Middle East.
According to who?
All right, let's take that.
According to who?
Middle
Hey,
East.
hold on.
Where's Israel?
If you go into
Where's
the East,
Israel?
right?
Hold on, Polight.
Hold on.
Where's the
Look
Middle
at
South?
no. Now you look
Where's
at
the Middle South?
One more time.
Where's the Middle West?
Hold on. You got
Where's the Middle
Northwest,
Wall?
Southwest.
Come
What
on,
you talking
brother.
about, man?
Hold on, I want you to answer this question. Sutek got a question for you.
Yeah.
Tell me
I
where
got
the Middle East is.
No, I can't tell you where the Middle East, but this is what I want the brother to explain.
Come on.
You got Chinese people that believe in the Bible, correct? They see themselves in the Bible, right?
Brother,
All
let him ask the
You
question.
got white people that see themselves in the Bible. Well, that's it.
Brother,
If
let
you
him
think
answer
it, then
the
you
question.
see it, right?
They in there.
You got black people, Hebrews, who say that's us in the Bible. So my thing is this: either those three groups of people cannot read, or that Bible is designed to be ambiguous. You understand? Because there is no book that, unless it's a fiction or something that's written to fool you, that three different people will read it and get come to three different conclusions. One more thing. Damn, I done forgot my second part here. Hold on a second.
Take your time. Just ask him where Israel is at. Why he think about it. Niggas trying to sneak into Asia.
Oh yeah. Is there another book in English that you would read that someone has to interpret every line for you?
That's a good
Because
question.
when the brothers read that book from the Bible, they read one line, stop, and interpret it. But if it's in English, it should be apparent what it's saying. Why do you have to interpret every line? And does that lead to confusion amongst the different people that read it?
Not at
That's
all.
a damn good question.
Not at all.
Right to the answer.
Now, let me, to his first question, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop saying the Middle East. I'll just say the East. Now, as far as Israel is concerned, Israel is in the lower region of what we call the East, all right? Or in the, my God, I'm going to say Middle East, the East, okay? But Israel's not part of Africa. Africa is above Israel. Israel's below. Okay? Two separate.
The last Hebrew Israelite said Ethiopia was an island.
Hold up, two separate.
We got him again. Study geography.
Hold on. First off, no.
We got y'all again.
Wait, hold on. First of all,
How the fuck can it be above,
man?
man?
Come on, man.
Israel
Hold on.
on the goddamn Mediterranean.
Can we calm down for a
No,
second?
you got to say that again, Sutek.
Yo.
Israel is on the Mediterranean, it's on
They
the
call it a
coast.
smartphone for a reason. I left my shit in the car. Somebody show this man a map
If they're still
of
talking,
Africa
right?
and Israel's
If they're still
relationship.
talking, I can't answer the question. I got no problem with answering
Come on,
the
man.
question.
Y'all
But now-
opt out of Africa
But what I
to
want
be
to also
Asian,
say
man.
is this here. What I want to do is keep it clean and let's watch the language, man. We have women who are listening as well. No. Hold up, man.
You're right.
Hold up. If we gonna build,
So let's lie to the women
Wait,
You
hold
don't
up.
know that
without
you-
cuss words.
Hold up.
You don't know
If
that
we're
you
gonna
stepped in the
build-
middle of a goddamn.
Let's make sure that we're not cussing when we lie to the women.
If we build,
Israel is right here.
Hold up, look, he got the evidence right here.
Look at this shit. Look at this little piece of place that they call Israel.
Israel is right over here, right on the other side of the Suez Canal. It's right there.
and
So you said it's below Africa.
hold up. First of all,
Listen,
hold
man.
up. Bring it back.
First of all, they got a canal.
Yeah. They built the Suez Canal right here.
That's right.
So that the ships could go through to the Dead Sea, the Red Sea over here. You understand what I'm saying? Israel is right there on the water.
Are you serious?
Africa.
Are you serious? Are you really freaking serious?
If you
You're gonna talk to
listen,
this
God,
is Israel? Are you out of your
listen,
freaking
listen.
mind?
If you-
Hey,
listen,
yo,
God,
you know what?
listen,
Whose freaking map is that?
Oh my God.
How big is you? Do you know how big Israel
Now it's
is?
who map it is.
Have you
Carbon
ever been
dating
to-
ain't good.
That's why, you know what? That's
Whose map
why.
is that?
Hold on.
He never saw the map before.
Hold up. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Whose map is
Now,
that?
Bring it back. Now. That's
He
why.
asked a good question.
Hold up.
He
That's
asked a good
why.
question.
Hold up. That's
you
why.
gonna bury
That's why you gotta go to Israel yourself. Have you ever been? I've been, and I know Israel is.
How you been to Israel and don't know where Africa
One more
at?
time. It's big as hell. Hold up. I know where Africa's at, brother. But like I said, one more time.
You have an ancient
Either you see it or you
What's the
don't. I
question?
do. As a matter of fact, I do.
Yeah, here with you.
And now, therefore,
The
no, I
Hebrews
don't.
gonna be mad
No, I
at you.
don't.
You
No,
said
hold on.
see, I don't think you
First
would
of
know
all,
that.
first of
Right?
all,
This is Egypt. If you study the Amarna tablets, you will understand that they had communications.
Okay, here we go.
Going from Egypt.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
He get to talk,
going
but
from
I
Egypt,
don't.
There was no Israel then.
and yeah, it was no Israel, and they would set up base over there too to send their communications, and that's why the Amarna tablets has hieroglyphics, and it has the hieratic, and it has the cuneiform,
hold on.
because they was communicating
But
to
at
each
this
other.
time, was there Israel?
There was no land of Israel at the time because you know why? It was known as a land of
Canaan.
Hold on, Canaan, right? Until they got kicked out.
Ali
No,
got
no, hold on.
tell you,
I know.
man.
Hold up. Hold up.
When you study
Now.
now the section they call Nu or Anu, and you find these Amarna tablets, you're gonna find that the Egyptian government,
I do know. I do know.
the Egyptian government was sending communications from here to this place that they call in Israel, and they got the same tablets there that shows there was a medium amongst the Sumerians and the Egyptians, and that's why when they found these ancient records, they said, why the fuck are they in cuneiform in Egypt? Now, Israel did not exist, and if you look at Israel, this place they call in Israel, and you look at Egypt, which is part of Africa, you'll clearly see that this is a part of Africa. Look at it.
So why do you think they're trying to disassociate Israel with Africa? Why?
Post-traumatic slavery disorder. They're in search of an identity.
Hold up.
They're in search of an identity.
Too,
Now, hold
because
on.
there was no Africa.
Now,
at that
first
time.
of all, let's get one thing.
They
clear.
part of this continent.
Let's get one
I
thing
don't.
clear.
We could call it
Now,
now.
one thing clear.
No, I want to ask you a question. Is Islam here before ancient Kemet teachings? Ma'at.
The Quran wasn't, but Islam was.
See, this is
There
that
you go.
religious
That,
stuff,
no,
man. Just
no.
tell the truth.
Just know what does the word mean?
It's a 1400
What does the word
Hold
mean?
on. You saying peace. You saying
That's
peace.
just like,
He
wait.
Hold on.
Brother,
He
That's
wants
just
to
like if you
he wants
ask
to
me,
use the
if you
meaning of
ask
the
me,
word
was peace
as opposed
on
to
the
the
planet?
religion.
It was peace on the planet from the beginning.
brother.
I
Let me
gotta
finish.
say
Let
yes.
me finish. How
Yes,
can-
but that's not what he asked you.
How can
He asked
the
you about the
religion?
religion.
How can the religion of Islam be in existence, right?
Before
When
it
there
was
was no
presented to you.
goddamn.
I said the
Let me
Quran
finish,
was,
brother.
Go ahead.
When there was no Jesus, there was no Abraham, there was no Moses, there was no Muhammad, there was none of that stuff,
guy's
man.
crazy, man.
During the time of the Great Pyramids, the Step Pyramids, none of
You
that
know
stuff
that.
existed.
You know that to be true.
What are you
Don't
talking
act
about?
like you don't know that. You know that.
Come on, bro.
Listen what I
So,
said.
there
All
is-
right, listen what I said. Listen what I said. I said the Quran.
There you go, now.
Exactly.
Hold up.
That's all he
Hold
gotta
up.
do.
Hold up.
The
That's all he
principles
gotta
is
say.
here.
There you go.
It wasn't always in that name.
There you go,
But
brother.
Islam was here,
Now,
but
see,
not in
that
that
sounds
name.
good.
It all derived from the Maya.
Now you see, this don't mean that we're trying to take down Islam, man.
What I'm saying is that if we understand the definition of this word Islam, which is to be at peace.
And did you know
right?
it came
Hold
from
up.
Maya?
So therefore, when we use this word, this is why you will see Muslims say, well, Moses was a Muslim.
But it came from
This
my
is why you will
no,
hear
see,
that.
I don't want
You
to
will
go
hear
too
the
far.
people saying.
But you know it came from my aunt, right? Peace. When you
Right.
say peace was here, so you know it came from my aunt. The teachers
Hotep,
of my
man.
aunt.
Hotep.
The people
Brother,
of
just say
Kemet
Hotep,
had
man.
peace and their system that is
Right.
corresponding with the teachings of the Quran.
But
of
you
course,
know it
there's
came from my
there's no
aunt.
mistake in that.
So why not go to the root, man?
First of all,
Why not go to the root?
Wait,
Where you can, hold
is
up,
Mayat
hold
the
up.
root?
Where you can
Is
find
Mayat
it
the
carved
root?
in stone instead of somebody giving you paper, a book. Where's your original manuscript? Don't we
you talking
always
about?
say that?
What are you talking about? We got the Quran in original manuscript. What are you talking
Y'all
about?
ain't listening, man.
What are you talking about?
That's your
First of
problem,
all,
man.
the bricks that you, wait.
Right.
Let's get this straight.
Oh, you was there for that.
Let's get
Ali
this,
Muhammad.
let's get this straight, right? You're telling me that because some writing is on the wall, which I agree, and I agree with a lot of the translations that was there. However, they ran a big game on us when it comes. Wait, it's a big game being ran on the translation of the Quran and the translation of all of these different things and how we can prove it. One, those people are no longer existing on that part of the planet of Egypt. Those people have been dispersed. They've been lost to knowledge. So what you're doing is bringing European translation, and they translating it from the Rosetta Stones, and they passing it to the scholars, and they teaching it.
So is Dr. Ben a European?
And they teaching that.
Is Dr.
No,
Ben
but he learned from the Europeans. You know it. You know it. Seti already said it.
Brother,
I got Seti on tape. You do too.
Hold on, we can dismiss this.
Gerald Nancy, yes sir.
You went to public school.
Sir.
Does that take away from your consciousness as a black man?
It did.
Certain things
It did. Yes, it did.
You went to public school. Are you going to
That's
tell
why I
me?
didn't have consciousness.
Are you going to tell me that which was given to you throughout the years of your going to public school? You can't qualify some of that information as a great end result.
I already said that.
What about
We
the
agreed there. I
So,
said I
so the
agreed.
point is,
Hold on,
why take away from Dr. Ben or any of the other
first of all,
scholars?
I ain't take away from nobody.
If
What
they
I
had
said.
to-
What
What I
about John
said.
James Jackson? That's a European. What about Gerald Mason?
Mason.
What about him?
Fact one. Fact one. For whatever reason, the people that live in Kemet, in Egypt, they are no more, haven't been for thousands of years. Fact number one. Number two, if you're going to tell me that somebody's going to understand this culture, those customs, and what they really believe, and then the great devil, the white man, come in, give you a translation of it, and you just take it and run. Now, if he knows language, you know for a fact that you ain't going to be able to take those languages, even Semitic language, and translate word for word as they do.
Teach,
This
black
is
man.
one.
Teach.
Number two, if you're talking about people coming in such as Gerald Nasty and telling us, oh, this is what it meant there, who also was an atheist, and they taught against religion as if the Egyptians didn't have religion, but when we do look at Kemet, we see them preparing themselves for a burial. We see them preserving their bodies. We see them bringing in spells in the Annie papers and putting those spells on so when they get to the afterlife, they can, outweigh the scales and show that they did more good, so on and so forth. So which shows me,
Where do you think they get that?
hold on,
Where do you
which
think the
shows
Quran
me
and all that come
that
from?
these people themselves understood there was something outside their self. And when they died, they wanted to get there. So this contradiction.
Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
Does Allah ever tell you to study the previous scriptures behind it? Did he ever say that?
Yes.
Now, my question is this for you religious people. Why y'all be hating on Kemet so much?
No.
Why y'all hate Egypt so much?
I don't.
Because, hold on. Because they scriptures always tells them to go back to the previous scriptures. The Quran says this.
Right.
But they omit Egypt. Like, that is not the founder of all, or
Don't throw me in. Don't throw me in the
well, this is the thing. Every time we start talking about Egypt, y'all make reference to the people that died, but not the information that lives. And what I mean by that is this. Egypt, amongst all these other doctrines out here.
Don't the Bible say do not uphold
Which
the
wasn't his
Egyptians?
name.
Don't the Bible say do not uphold the Egyptians?
Yes, it does.
But listen to this.
So what is it
But
talking
listen-
about?
I'm not begging on
Where did
Egypt.
Where did Moses learn all his wisdom from?
The Egyptians.
Egypt. We know
Where did
that.
Jesus learn his wisdom from?
Hold
Where did Mary run for refuge?
I'm not begging on
Where
Egypt.
did Mary run
I'm
for
not
refuge?
begging on my people.
that's all I want to
I'm not
say.
begging
No,
on my
but
people.
this is the thing.
I'm telling
But
truth.
you're saying,
Go ahead.
you're talking like, well, the people no longer exist, so basically now we got Islam.
We got it from the white man.
Understand these
And we got Islam. now.
Understand these two
we ain't
things.
getting that
And you ain't get Islam from this pale Arab man?
No, sir.
The
The
Islam
Prophet
that you
Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was black. Period.
we can do that. No, we can do that.
We gotta get
I'll do that.
The brother want to ask a question. Yo, hold on. The brother want to ask a question. Go ahead, brother.
How does the Council of Nicaea play into all of this?
Council of Nicaea.
That's true.
I already know what he's gonna say.
I want you to answer the question.
The Council of Nicaea was like the fourth. The Council of Nicaea occurred on the calendar that we use right now in the early 300s, and it was a council gathered together to discuss the nature of Jesus Christ. Whether it was a dual nature, whether he was singular with God, what the nature of it was. And Constantine was a white Roman who led that council. He led the council, and their idea was to continue to perpetuate the cult of Serapis, and they continued to perpetuate it, and that was one amongst many councils to keep fucking up history.
Go ahead, Polite Council and
I figure Israel be below Africa, we turn the phone upside down. But if we keep the phone right side up, we learn that we're talking about things because one, we need to study geography. I'm getting tired of talking to Hebrew Israelites that's not studying geography, God. And this is why they can tell you that you need to bang on the African. That plays to the hand of the same oppressors that y'all trying to teach about.
It's an anti-black book.
How the fuck could y'all?
You keep shushing me, but you ain't shushing them, and they bombarding the hell out of me.
Nah,
man.
but he's cutting into what I was saying.
It's an anti-black
Are you
book.
serious? Come on, man.
The Bible is an anti-black book.
Why do you say the Bible is
I'm about to read. Read.
Go ahead.
Read.
Okay.
Look. Now, how many people have ever heard the Hebrews say that Solomon was black from the Bible?
Everybody.
Have you ever heard that, right?
That's right, we heard that.
Now, this is what they do. You go to Song of Solomon's, right? I got it right here, the 5th verse. They only read the first part of the 5th verse. They don't read all 6 verses. And if you read all 6 verses, it's not Solomon saying he's black, because he ain't even talking. It's his wife apologizing for being black. Did you hear what I said?
Wow.
So some scribe put it in there that you gotta apologize for being black in the Bible. I'm gonna read it. King James Version.
I hope you refute.
Don't you ever read the scripture again, brother.
Give me a break, man. What the hell are you talking about?
Yo,
Let
he gonna tell
me
you
start.
serious.
Look.
And refute it.
Let him kiss me. Let him kiss me.
Solomon
So who's
can't be
talking?
talking. Can't be
Who's
talking.
talking? Let him kiss me. That's a woman talking.
That gotta be a woman. I hope.
With the kisses of his
It's
mouth.
the Bible.
For thy love is better than wine, because of the savor of thy good ointments and all this other stuff. Draw me in. She's talking good. This is a woman
Hold on,
talking.
sis.
This is Solomon's wife.
Don't disrespect the Bible.
Hold on, I'm talking.
sis.
I'm not disrespectful.
Hold
I'm
on,
gonna read.
sis. Hold on,
Look,
sis.
this is what she said.
Hold on,
This is
sister.
what she said.
Hold on, sister.
This is what I'm not gonna disrespect it. I'm gonna read it.
Do not disrespect the Bible like that. Don't do that.
I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
read that.
sister.
Am I
Don't do that.
You just teaching about the Bible.
Okay, let me read it.
Hold on, sis.
Let me read it. Let me read it. So now, Solomon's wife is talking. Solomon's wife is talking, not Solomon. That's Natural Tahuti calling me. Solomon's wife is not talking. All right, now look.
Hold on, sis. Let's make sure.
She says, I am black but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, she's saying, as the tents of Kedar, I'm black. As the curtains of Solomon, this is still her talking. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun have looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. So she's out in the sun, getting black, apologizing for being black.
That's
So
not
whoa.
That is not what she's doing.
Some scribe.
She's not apologizing
what
for
she
her
saying?
skin
What she
color.
saying?
Break it down. You break it
She's
down.
not apologizing
What she
for her
saying?
skin color.
Break it down.
Bottom line is
Break
what
it
she's
down.
saying. What she's
Let
simply
him talk.
saying is simply this here, right? And look, we're in derision right now. Israel in a state of chaos and confusion, but she's not apologizing for her
she
skin
doing?
color
What is she
because
doing?
Jeremiah 14:2.
No. What's she
Judah
talking about
mourner
there?
and the gates thereof language, they are
hate when y'all
black
do
unto
this
the
shit.
ground.
The gates
That's
are
why.
black, not
That's
Judah.
no. It's talking about Judah, the nation of Israel, because all Israel was classified as being what?
In a drought.
Different
In a
shades
drought.
of brown.
Now, you know what we need?
Different shades of brown.
I'm not
That's
trying to be
why-
rude.
No.
I'm not gonna be
Hold
rude.
up. Ah,
Stay on top.
Yo,
Yeah,
exactly.
Hold on. So now,
You are
they're not apologizing.
ridiculing what we trying to
She's
accomplish
not
here.
apologizing
Yes.
for her skin color.
What was she talking about?
Are you out of your mind?
What was she talking
Really?
about? What was she talking about?
Again, one more time.
That's what I
There was
was listening.
social chaos and confusion within Israel. She's not talking about her literal skin
is she
color.
talking
What was she
That's
talking
called
about?
Apologizing. She's talking about the fact that, listen, my God in heaven, we are in a sorry state.
So black-
Hold on,
so
one more
black
time.
means what?
Hold on. But see, you can laugh all day. Hold on.
crazy.
You can laugh all day.
What does black mean here?
You can laugh all day.
What does black mean here?
Yo.
What does black
Yo,
mean
you
here?
acting like you crazy, man.
Now,
What does
black-
black mean here?
It
Yo,
means
hold on.
skin color, but hold up. She's not
So she-
apologizing for her skin color.
What does
So
black
what
mean
is she
here?
apologizing for?
All right?
What does black mean here then?
Hold on.
If it don't mean skin color.
One more time.
Does she say I'm black but calmly?
But
Family, beautiful fool.
Right.
black, but
calmly.
In the conscious religious community, they have to get something straight here. When someone asks you a specific question, they gotta stop going to other verses and chapters to validate that verse and chapter. They playing this game too much. And then what other people do is list all the Bible books in order. And what other people do is start reciting some other stuff. People start going crazy when you ask good questions about the Bible. The question is, why did she apologize for being black? Why did she make an exception to being black? Why did she say I'm black but comely? Why will my brother not say that she's apologizing for being black? And we're asking you, what does black mean in that particular verse, my brother?
She said, look not upon me because I'm black. She's apologizing. This scripture is a corrupt scripture that was taken and polluted, and it's an anti-black book. And I can prove it.
You're making
line for line.
Y'all making excuses. Y'all making excuses for the racism found in the Bible.
Now they attack me.
Ali, give it a verse.
Song of Solomon, first chapter, 5th and 6th verse. Now y'all attack me for Islam, but I told you that I could go in the Quran.
We still gonna attack your ass for Islam.
Listen,
but right now you off the hook because they acting crazy with the Bible.
That's cool. That's cool. The thing is, you can attack me, but you can't sustain the attack when the truth comes. The only thing you can do is just dance around it. So all I'm saying,
listen.
Now, ask me. Wait, let me finish.
You know what the problem is? Ali Muhammad is just way too sophisticated for the Bible niggas.
I'm way too sophisticated for anybody. I can prove to you they were attacking the Quran. I can prove to you that Adam was made Salsaline Hama Masnoon. Hama is black. He was made into a black man.
Yeah.
Now, why was that placed in the Quran? If you understand the context of the time with the Sassanid Empire and the Persians and the Romans, they had an Aryanization of the culture, which means that they propelled a white culture just like it is today. So Islam came with a socio-political remedy of black power 1400 years ago. Woo! And people don't understand it because these imams are not teaching them the meaning of the book and they're not historians. All I'm doing is making it a historical discussion and taking it out of religion so people can see it for what it is. Because if they can see it for what it is, then we got clarity.
That's not a problem. No. Listen.
Period.
Let me talk to you, brother. Let me talk to you real quick.
The Quran was black. Period.
Let me talk to you
Go
carefully.
ahead.
Let me talk to you very carefully.
Go ahead.
Where you got your information from was not given to you by the originators of it. By the time y'all got Islam,
That's not.
it was already repackaged for you.
Wait. So stop right there.
It's already
So how can you all say that we ain't get it from the original?
Say it again,
And then it's been repackaged.
Say it again, brother. Say it again.
The original started with who? The Prophet Muhammad. The Quran, right?
Yes, go ahead.
So
He's
if the original
he's the purported receiver.
Right. He's right. So if he is the one that brought the Quran and had his sunnah, then he already passed it to the people. Now, yes, did it get mixed up and swapped in and swapped out with ideology? Of course. But this the thing y'all don't want to know is that you have different factions and sects of Islam.
That's true.
So you have what the prophet prophesied himself and said that after the Tabi'in. Wait, hold up. Hold up. It's a fact.
After me, there will be a multitude of different types of this religion. Let's give our ancient culture a facelift to include themselves in it.
There you go.
And now we got to go to them for reference
Did you
points.
say you 75% Nigerians? Did you say that?
Yeah, that's
Nigerian?
called a DNA test.
Right.
That's not a doctrine.
So wait.
Doctrine,
So how you connected with those Egyptians? I don't understand.
I said, you see? Hold on, stop.
Nigerian.
Can I answer the question?
Nigerian.
Hold on, let
me
answer the question.
Those that's closest to that bloodline of Kemet are the people in Sudan.
Let me answer the question.
Go ahead.
First of all, the people that you call the Igbo, or some call the Igbo, those people were people that migrated from Egypt over there into that West African region. First of all, so if you're going to ask me about these people, we have to do the research on it. So one, and second, and number two.
So you like the Israelites?
Hold on, bro. Let me.
The Israelites?
No way. But
the Israelites say,
well, can I talk to you?
Go ahead.
Can I talk to you?
Go ahead.
When during this conversation, I have to go through this with the Israelites too. At what point in this conversation did I say I trace my bloodline to ancient Egypt?
No, I didn't say that.
So what are you asking me about?
Wait.
What are you getting excited about with Egypt?
Because you're saying, oh, you're sitting here talking about these Egyptians, our people, but you from Nigeria, sir. I don't understand.
I'll explain it to you.
Go ahead.
Teach, bro. First and foremost, those people that we call the Igbo or the Igbo or the Igbo, depending on how people like to pronounce this stuff, those people are Egyptians that migrated into that West African region. One. So when I say I did my DNA test and 75% of my blood traced me back to who they were called, hold on, brother. 75% of my blood would trace me back to who they called.
The haplogroups.
Hold on, brother.
Nigeria and
Can you let me talk, brother? Can you let me talk, brother?
Go ahead.
When I say 75% of my blood lineage takes me back to Nigeria, that tribe of what they would call today Negroes today will call them the ancient Hebrews, or may even dare call them philosopher for whatever reason. What I'm telling you, brother, is that what we're doing now, you're demurring so much that we are losing sight of the fact. My thing is this: I have the right to study what I feel can cultivate me. In essence, now this is what I've realized, and this is why I say religion is no good for our people. The religions that our people are practicing, because it doesn't give homage to the woman that it used to worship. It doesn't get. Hold on, my brother.
Go ahead.
Because y'all always making these dome-shaped buildings with the little nipple on top. And then we're going to turn around and say that y'all are not giving reverence to the woman. You know why it sounds absurd to say Muslims giving reverence to the woman? Because there's so much misogynistic practices taking place today in Islam that we couldn't even conceptualize how could we highly revere the female. What I'm telling you, my brother, is that by the time the black man and black woman today in America receives the religion, it has been so diluted, so compromised, that we are so far away from our culture, it doesn't work for us. So this is why every generation, even when it looks like we got momentum, the shit stops and we become many factions. Why? Because we don't even understand what we're studying. And even as we have this conversation, religion makes people insecure to answer common sense questions. Common sense questions that you can easily just give an answer to without feeling insecure and say, you know what, that's true. You know what? Islam is only 1,400 years old. But you know what you're going to do? You're going to give us the word Islam, and you're going to say it means peace, and peace been existed prior. That's what religious people do. We know damn well we talking about the religion, the institution that got the people over here arguing with each other. Religion makes you buck dance like that. So we just saying, when I say give reverence to Egypt, give reverence to the woman, I'm saying that was our way of life, and you ain't going to really find that the way that those religions are being taught today. But if we go and we do a comparative study on ancient cultures, okay, in respect to the religions that people are engulfed in today, then what we'll realize is all the secrets that they're hiding from us as a people about the woman and about ourselves in general as a black race. And this is why we normally refer you back to ancient Egypt, primarily because, not because we're saying we're related to them, okay, but because that they left so much records for us, because when we go into religion, conveniently someone gets taken by a cloud. Conveniently a ship the size of a whole damn state. We can't find a piece of wood. The closest thing people have been able to find from religion is a potato that might look like Jesus, or a carbon on a damn tree.
Notice you never going back to the Quran, but you're going back to the Bible.
No, Polight, well, I'm gonna get to you. Here's the Imam right here. Imam Bashir. Yes, sir. Now listen, this brother sat back, he didn't interrupt nobody. I want you to let him get it out.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Go ahead, Imam. Does Ali have any truth in what he's saying, brother? Dealing with the Quran.
He does. The Adam made out of the black mud, which is the Hummer, the Sao, which is, you know, the bringing that black mud into perfect shape. So he's right and exact about that. However, the thing is that you cannot detach or separate from the book if we're going to follow the teachings of Islam. We got to keep the book, because the book says right? It said that this is a perfect book, it's a guidance for the righteous. But what we have to understand,
Not in English.
Not in English? Of course.
Most people read it in English, right?
Most people read it in English.
You have a benefit.
Right.
You can read it in its original language.
Right.
When they can't make the distinction. You are one of those who are firmly rooted in ilm, in knowledge.
Right.
So you can't use somebody who's reading it in English who don't have the qualification that you have. That's what I'm saying to the people.
Right. Correct.
Speak to the people who qualify.
Did the Quran come from the Bible?
That's the damn question.
Because Ali Muhammad said it didn't.
It didn't. He's
so
right
you
about
support
that. He's right about that.
Does the Quran make mention of the same prophets the Bible makes mention of?
It does. It does.
Which one came first, the Bible or the Quran?
The Bible.
Now, here's the next question. Here's the next question.
Hold on.
Good night. Good night.
Were those prophets mentioned before the Bible?
Yeah,
that's the question you need to ask.
See, here's the thing.
I would say that. I would actually say yes. I would say yes.
Hold on.
I would say yes.
And where at?
Look,
Egypt.
What he
Egypt
do?
makes mention of them.
What he do?
India makes curtains. How's that curtains? All you niggas stole the information. That's all you telling me. Y'all stole.
No.
Lineage, brother.
Y'all stole.
It's called lineage.
Hold up, this is the problem.
All y'all stole information. And let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me do this real quick. Let me do this shit for real. Y'all, cause this shit getting ridiculous. Let's do this like this. Okay, we're gonna say that the Quran came after the Bible. We're gonna also acknowledge that the data in the Bible we can find it's synonymous with the data in the Quran as it relates, at least in this particular case, we're talking about prophets. We can say the Quran talks about the same prophets, relatively, that the Bible speaks about. We can say this. And we're also going to say that the Bible was there first and then the Quran came after. Now what they're going to say is this. Does it make mention about these prophets and anywhere else previous to the Bible? Since the Bible is first to the Quran. And now, hold on. Now I'm going to say, yes, a lot of these prophets were made mention of previous to the Bible, which means they were made mention of previous to the Quran. So now they think they made a point. But this is my question. If the Quran doesn't say itself, yo, man, we got all this shit from Egypt, yo. See, might as well go to Egypt, because we give it to you. Shit gonna be watered down.
It does.
Yo, hold on. So this is what I'm saying to the people. This is what I'm saying to the people. You got a dude that reads the Quran that says the Quran don't come from the Bible, but the Quran is speaking about the same people the Bible's speaking about, and the Quran comes after the Bible. All this shit is confusion. Then they're gonna tell me that they got the information. One place would be, namely, Egypt. So then the question would be, should we go to the source from what the information derives? Should we go to the source? Oh, but you know what they say? Oh, the Quran was made so we can understand Egypt better because Egypt can't explain itself better.
Black people.
Hell fucking no if they're gonna teach this. Hell no.
See,
if they're gonna teach that.
Now,
the reason why he don't understand that the Quran didn't come out of there because he don't understand the Quran, and therefore if you don't understand the Quran, you damn sure not going to understand what happened in Egypt.
These Muslims don't agree.
You're not going to understand what happened in Egypt. We may not understand we may not agree on everything, but the initial basic principles.
None of you Muslims are going to agree.
The basic principles we definitely do, and none of the Kemetic brothers
y'all making it up
agree
as y'all
neither.
go.
Y'all don't agree neither. But anyway, nevertheless, understanding the Quran, they can't understand Egypt because they don't understand the Quran. I'm going to tell you how. Because when you detach yourself from spirituality, which is why the Quran had to come, then therefore, now it's spooky. This is the same damn guy trying to tell people that they're extraterrestrials is up here. But now we getting spooky. Hold up.
You don't believe in extraterrestrials?
Wait.
Hold on, you don't believe in extraterrestrials?
But this is what I'm saying.
You don't believe in extraterrestrials?
Hold on, I'm about to answer that.
I'm about to answer that.
But look,
you better answer that
because he haven't got into those Quran verses and read the Quran, he don't understand what he's even talking about. So I become the teacher of what extraterrestrial life is in actuality. But look, when you're talking about,
you either believe in it or you don't believe
in it. Hold up, when you're talking about extraterrestrial, of course, we understand it as things outside this realm, outside this planet. That's not a problem. But hold up, but you can't be talking that because you begging on spiritual lessons that's right here. So how the hell you gonna be talking about something that's right here and reject that and you understand what's outside? You understand? No.
It sounds like it makes sense. It sounds like he's making sense, right? He believes in Allah. A fictional being that he's never seen in his life. Now my question would be, was Allah on the planet Earth when he created Earth, or was Allah outside the planet Earth when he created Earth?
Good question.
I'm asking him this.
Turn it to me.
Hold on, he made his comments.
You're afraid to let me answer.
Hold on, wait.
I got different questions for you. Hold on, stop. These two Muslims don't agree with each other.
We do agree. We agree. Today we agree, baby.
Oh, they agree? Now stop. I'm gonna show you something.
We agree.
I'm gonna show you something. We just asked one Muslim, does the Quran speak about what the Bible is speaking about in terms of the prophets? This Muslim said no. This Muslim said yes.
No.
Hold on, you can play the tape back. So this is my point. This is my point. He did say that. So this is my point. Hold on.
He asked whether they mention the same prophets, and I said they do. I said they do.
You got it.
I said. He asked, did the Quran come from the Bible or mention the Bible? I said no.
No problem. When they replay the tape, you'll see.
Right here. He's officially cool hurt. He mismatching this thing up, baby.
When you replay the tape, you're going to see that he said it. So I have no problem with that. Now, this is the case here. Remember that. Replay it, and you're going to hear him say no. You're going to hear him say yes. Yes, no. That's the mix-up. Now, what I'm going to tell you is this. I just want him to answer, because he believes in Allah. I want to know, did Allah create the planet Earth while... And the reason why I ask them different questions because they don't agree as Muslims, so I have to direct different questions at them. Make sense? That should make a lot of sense, right?
Come on.
We all in accordance with this? If two Muslims can't agree on Islam, I should ask them different types of questions that cater to their specific interests and needs in Islam. Now, here's my question to this Muslim that disagrees with that Muslim.
Go ahead.
Was Allah on the planet when he created Earth, or was Allah outside the planet when he created Earth?
Now let him answer.
Outside the planet.
Okay, now, hold on, stop. That was, he just said yes. It was just a yes no question.
Let me specify.
I have to make my point.
Hold up, man. Let me answer the question, bro.
You just answered
Hold
it.
up. No.
You're insecure about your answer?
No, I'm not insecure.
Here we go.
You
Go
need
ahead.
to learn. That's what I'm saying. Because what
I ain't finished my point.
What I'm saying is the concept of the Quran and the creation of the planets, none of it was there.
But
So
he
hold
asked
up.
you, was
Hold
Allah
up.
outside of Earth?
Hold up. Outside. I said the planets were not there.
Let me tell you.
So-
He's gonna try to make Allah an extraterrestrial.
Get Ali out of here, man. It's not your question, man.
Baby. He's gonna try to make Allah an extraterrestrial, baby. So if Allah is an extraterrestrial, the moon is an extraterrestrial, the
Why
sun
not? Why
is,
not?
the star is,
Why not?
anything that's
No,
not
why not?
a rock,
Hold
a meteor. Come on,
Yo,
man.
listen.
This the
Stop
point.
trying to help
This
out
the
your
point.
baby Muslim.
Allah is extraterrestrial, but he
So,
don't
hold on,
believe in the damn
hold on, y'all, hold on,
scripture
hold
or
on,
the
hold
book
on.
of the Creator. So how the hell he gonna teach something outside of here?
Okay.
That's what you refer to.
I'm going
not
back
the
to
Quran.
ancient
Not
Egypt.
To the Quran.
I'm going back to
Hold
ancient
up.
Sumer.
Culture.
But those are
Wait.
baby coaches
Culture
and gravitations.
Culture is always subject to change. For one.
No problem.
Now, number two is.
But the
if
lies
you,
must stop.
Wait. Number two is you're talking about the culture of our people.
Yes.
But if you look at people such as Mansa Musa, for one. Timbuktu, that went through many different stages, many different cultures.
Yes.
They had Christianity, the Israelites, and they had Islam.
That's
when
right.
they had Islam, they went to go conquer in Spain. That showed power of Islam. Those kings always migrated to the pilgrimage, so on and so forth. Now, if you're going to sit here and say that we have to connect with our people, first thing is we need to get a DNA test and find out what people do we actually come from.
That's cool.
Because
I'm with that.
the Nigerians today, the Ghanaians today, and Sierra Leone today, their culture is now Islam for the most part. For the most part, their culture is Islam.
Colonization.
So, wait.
That's from colonization.
No, first of all, you're wrong on that. That's not correct. It's some colonization took place from the Arabs when it comes to those countries, but those countries been there from the beginning of Islam.
Are you saying that these people had no way of life prior to the Quran?
No, what I'm telling you is,
Go ahead.
that's
What
not
was
what I
he-
said.
what were they way of life?
Wait, that's not what I said.
So how, no, this is what I want to know.
That's not what I said.
What was their way of life, and what compelled them to change their way of life?
Beloved.
You know, look.
ahead.
Am I going to turn? Look, am I going to
All the way back
convert
over
you?
there.
Am I going to stop you from being a Muslim today, right now?
No.
It's not going to be easy, because you stuck in
ahead.
your way. You
ahead.
in your way.
Go ahead.
You into Allah subhanahu wa
My brother
ta'ala. That's
gonna
what you
wake
do.
up one day, though.
Go ahead.
You feel me?
I was
so,
there
I'm already woke.
I was there.
I'm already woke.
No, we know you into a
I'm
wise
already
brother.
woke.
So listen, brother, this is what I'm saying. If I come with that Quran and a sword in the other hand, that shit might get you to start bowing down to my God. But if I just say, I try to
But
converse
this is what I'm
with you.
saying. You never reference the scholars, such as Sheikh Antidia, that brought you in to the information that says this is not what really happened. And these are lies.
I don't want to reference Sheikh Anti-Diop.
W.E.B. Du Bois. I mean, come on, man. There's so many
I want
different
to reference
references.
common sense. All I ask you is this.
Go ahead.
What were the people doing prior to Islam? Because
Many
Islam is a
different
baby
things.
religion.
It was never one different thing. If you look at
I'm just asking
if
you.
you look at the Nubians, let me give you an example.
What
If you
were
look
black
at the
people
Nubians,
into?
700 BC, you can see on their pyramids, they and the Egyptians was going back and forth and cultural warring. For one,
I got you, brother.
to the point where they took gods and placed their gods behind or in front of the Egyptian gods.
Let's use
so on
chronology.
and so forth.
Let's use
so
chronology.
on and so forth.
Let's use
so
chronology.
This shows.
Do you
this
feel?
shows
Go ahead, brother.
that black people have always had that conflict with the cultures. We ain't get to. This is what we ain't get to. We have. Let me name just 5 quick things. We have subprime loans,
Okay.
which we know about, right?
Yes, brother.
During 2008, when that first recession hit, subprime loans was given out to over 50% of black people, right?
No one
and this
couldn't
is where
afford
the interest rate can be 20, 30, 40, 50% even.
Hey, peace, brother.
50% even,
Come on,
right?
brother.
The Hebrews are running. Hebrew. Running scared.
Yeah, because y'all don't want to bang with these Muslims. Y'all know we tear that up. But anyway, y'all people with
All right,
big
you said we
religion
banging on it?
and whatever. Look, subprime loans, wipe black people out, had their homes being confiscated and taken from them. But what does Islam say? If we understood the moral code and the legislation and the law, we wouldn't even dealt with the interest in the first place. If we're looking at the destabilization of our families, if we was looking at the moral code of the Holy Quran, which is the renaissance and a new manifestation of what we call ma'at, you know what I'm saying? Then we wouldn't be in the situation that we are in. So therefore, you heard what I said, Islam is the renaissance and the rebirth of what we call it ma'at. Period.
Wow.
Because you're trying to
Don't do that.
never brought up any of our social ills and the solution to those social ills other than let's get money. That's it.
Now, where's the conversation that we
hold up. When you're talking about bringing the black woman up to some pedestal, listen closely. The first thing is her man must be up in the pedestal, because otherwise she gonna return back to being the booty that she is today. In general, spoils of war. So there's no way we should allow our black woman to be some pinnacle or some god where the black man is somehow under her, but yet they should collaborate with one another. And
who keeps teaching that we are? Because it sounds like you're making this in reference to me.
Yeah, I'm making it in reference to you.
And
what you just said.
This is what I'm saying.
What you just said.
Whenever I give praise, only reason I identify the black woman as God.
I love my wife.
Hold on. I didn't say that. You see, this is the problem.
Right.
When I say I worship the black woman, y'all, and I say she's God, y'all automatically feel like I'm putting y'all down.
No, I ain't saying you put me down or the men down. I'm saying you shouldn't put them up. That's what I'm saying.
We shouldn't put the woman up. Listen.
Don't put her up. That's right.
Listen, brother. This is insane. And this is why.
No, it's insane that our men is not up and taking care of our women and our children, and we allow our women to become the booty of the day of Christ.
Side by side. If you go in the Quran, you're going to see that you have an Elohim, you have an Allahumma, you have an Allah, you have an Allah. So what we're saying is this, and it's in the book. So what we're saying is this:
you have more names that was taken out because
who took these words out?
There was idol worshipers. There was idol worshipers.
And whose decision was it to take these gods out of the book?
The women. Look, the women. Whose decision it was to take out the women?
First of all,
the women version to Allah.
The women are in the Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not male nor female. If you understood it.
Do you have
if that power is not male or female?
Do you have?
Because it says Kulhu wallahu ahad.
Listen, brother.
No, Allah is not everything. Kulhu wallahu ahad. Say He is Allah, the one, the independent, the salt of all. He begets not, nor is He begotten. He's not born. He don't need anything. And what's the last part? And there is none like unto Him. This is the claim of the Quran. As far as the woman is respected, the woman is adored, the woman has her place in the Quran. The woman has her place.
Let me get a question.
In her place, so on and so forth. Of course it is. Of course it is.
Let's ask a question.
All unique.
Of course it is.
Does a righteous?
But why we ain't talking about social ills and what we can do to clean it up?
Does a righteous?
Why we ain't doing that with the Quran?
First of all, we know that Allah is in the Bible in dual form. We know in plural, beyond dual, we know in masculine, and we know in feminine. And this is yet to be addressed. But now we're going to ask you another question, my brother. This is going to ask a very, very simple question that we was trying to ask earlier. What were we as a people doing? What were we as a people doing prior to being kidnapped and then enslaved? And does that have any relevant significance to this conversation in regards to, is Islam the religion of our people? Listen to the sentence. Is Islam the religion of our people? Now, I want to ask people, if you've been kidnapped, your language has been taken from you, your culture automatically was taken from you.
Go ahead, Polight.
Now we wind up with Christianity and Islam. Are these our ways of life?
Hell no.
Wait.
So now my question is, what were we doing prior?
Good question.
What were we doing prior, and do we ever intend to go back? Because when I look at our history doesn't have its inception in slavery. When I look at our history has its inception with us being rulers, with us being great. With there's not no record. If you go to ancient Egypt, do you see any records? And I'm asking you, let me ask you a question.
Was Egypt the only place where we had culture?
Because,
and are we doing the same thing?
No, it's not.
Of course not.
Let me finish speaking.
Of course not.
No, it's not. But
so your argument is already irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant.
Go ahead, bro.
If I start talking to you about 20 different types of cultures right now, we'll be all over the place, because inside of every conversation we have, you take us to another conversation.
Right.
You even took us to subprimes. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to stay with Egypt for now, just so we can stay somewhere on a flat scale, because at some point...
we're on a flat scale.
Listen, at some point we're going to divulge into other conversation, so I'm going to try to keep it as relevant to the core premise. So I'm going to use Egypt again, and I'm going to ask you something.
Do the Egyptians have any recordings of disease? Do you know this or not? I'm just asking.
Yes, they do.
Where?
Yes, they do.
Where?
Well, first of all, I don't have all the references on me as far as...
No, if you can make the accusation, you know what you're talking about.
Be quiet for a minute. Be quiet for a minute. Be quiet for a minute. I don't have that reference, but I tell you who do. I speak to Brother the God Killer, who bear witness to it. I spoke to Brother Ngozi, who also bear witness to them having diseases
so now look,
such as diabetes,
such
as syphilis, so on and so forth.
They had diabetes back then.
So,
I want you to calm down.
But you know what?
I want you to calm down. This is what I'm asking you, brother.
If we could, if the day comes, I guarantee they'll be all destroyed.
I just want to ask you a question. Now, good. I hear you, right? I hear you, right? Now, hold on. Now I'm going to ask you a question. He just knocked me for saying extraterrestrials exist. Then he says Allah is an extraterrestrial.
He's trying to say that.
Don't tell me what I'm trying to say. You got to ask me. You got to ask me.
But the contradiction actually coming here. Let me explain. What I'm saying is, you cannot take the Quran and then say that religion is garbage, and the hell with the Quran,
I ain't say that.
and the hell with the books. This is his premise. And then talk about creation or things outside of our realm. You understand? What I'm trying to say is that this goes back to him having to confess La ilaha illallah if he's going to say that there's extraterrestrials. If he's going to say that, then he has to say he believes in Allah. He said you got to believe extraterrestrial only mean outside this realm. That's all it means. So yes, the Creator is outside this realm, both active in this realm at the same time. But however, my point was that this brother will bang on the Bible, the Quran, and tell people stay away from religion, but at the same time, take our concepts and principles and use them for himself.
All right, let me
solve this. No, let me solve this. It's my turn. 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 No. It's my turn. It's my turn. Chill out. See, today we don't have to guess. We're scientists. We don't have to guess. If somebody asks you what is the spiritual or force or power that's controlling all things in creation, most people don't know because they're not astronomers. If you're an astronomer, you can go right to the Sagittarius A constellation, which is right at the middle of the Milky Way galaxy, and it is at the core of turning and moving everything in the system that we live in. So we can identify a black force that's moving 16 stars, the sun, and the solar system. It's moving it. It's a force. So now, is that force an extraterrestrial? No. It's just a scientific force. How we teach Islam, how I teach Islam, is that force and power is most dominant in the melanin people. So if you want to see the Creator, you want to see the Creator's power, look at an original man following the laws of the Creator. We can see God right here. Okay. So it's that simple. It ain't no deep thing. Now, the question is, if you're going to talk about religion, you have to be a historian. You can't talk about religion and not be a historian. The only reason we are mentioning these books is because they were written by the same people.
That's true.
And one of them was tampered with by white people to destroy this black man's history. It's not a mistake that all throughout Africa you see people who follow Islam. They're not stupid. They just got trapped later.
They were colonized.
So all I'm saying, no, let me finish. Let me finish. So now, Polight says, no, this is a historical question. And I'm the only one who can answer it, probably besides me, Bashir right here, and somebody else out there. The question, let me finish. Let me finish. Polight says that they were colonized and brought Islam. I can prove to you that the founding members of the Islamic Empire is what you would call Africans today. They left monuments, they left their language, and they founded the system. It's an old system. Take the name away, it's a system designed to implement the laws of God or the Creator. Period. They built universities, they built cities, they rebuilt, and they put white people in a fucking suitcase. Rome, the Sassanids, and the Persians, the same people who are attacking Kemet. Really? You are not a historian, that's your problem. You are picking and choosing and you don't know lineage.
All right, now
you think that, let me finish my last point.
Go ahead.
My last point.
Don't cut them off.
If somebody asks you, where are the Egyptians today? If somebody asks you, where are these people today that built these cultures? You're not just going to say the Egyptians disappeared. They still here. They got renamed. Sudanese, Senegalese, and all these particular names. These the same bloodlines of people. So if they redevelop a system and the name is different, and instead of calling it Mayat, they call it Islam and still rule the world, why are you asking these dumb fucking questions?
All right, now
It's too easy.
Don't cut him off. Go ahead, Polight.
Yo, religion.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you this. Cover your ears if you're young. Religion is fucked up. It's completely. Religion will have smart men say everything smart up until the point of the damn Quran and the Bible. Now we gonna start all over. I asked the man that attacked me for talking about extraterrestrials. This is the same man whose brother supported him, said the sun would be extraterrestrial, which I agree. If you talk about the impact the sun has on you on Earth from the stars, said the moon is extraterrestrial, which I agree. If you talk about the impact the moon has from the celestial down to the planet Earth, I asked this man that ridiculed me and attacked me for identifying with extraterrestrials. I said, was Allah on the planet Earth when he created the Earth, or was Allah outside the planet Earth when he created Earth? Because we know extraterrestrial, an additional amount on terra Earth from the celestial. He says Allah is extraterrestrial. So I then question, why are you ridiculing me? You know what his answer is? I don't have the right to identify extraterrestrials unless I identify with the Bible and Quran. Only a religious fanatic would say that. Because a meteor, right, can be extraterrestrial. An asteroid coming into planet Earth becomes a meteor, and that becomes extraterrestrial. I don't have to believe in the Quran or the Bible to identify with that which is extraterrestrial, but that shows you. He's a historian, right? And he's a scientist, right? But a historian or a scientist would never make that mistake in a conversation. Now we're going to go over here to my brother, Mr. Ali Muhammad. And what religious men, hold on, my sister. What religious men and women do? They like to cater to your emotional convictions. They like to tell you about what the white man did wrong to you. They like to tell you about all the glory and the splendor of their doctrines. They like to tell you about the movements that revolve around these doctrines. And I don't have a problem with that. Because I can tell you, there were some good people. Marcus Garvey was into Catholicism. And we love Marcus Garvey, right? That doesn't mean Catholicism in its entirety is all wise, right, and exact. And it doesn't mean that this is truly the religion that black people should subscribe to. Yet and still, I can give him his kudos. We know that the Moorish Empire, they did an excellent job in history. We know about their impact in Spain. We know about their Muslim connection. But yet and still, because of the great things they did and their individual capacities, doesn't mean necessarily that that is the religion of our people. Now, what I'm also going to say is this. When we ask, how come Africans are using Islam today? When you go to the sneaker store and you choose the sneaker you want, you are choosing from amongst the choices that was left before you. Therefore, you may think you're making a choice, but someone has chosen from the choices you would choose from. I hope I'm not talking too fast here. So, okay. Hold on. So what I'm saying is this. Hold on, my sister. So
talking too fast.
So, thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. We might be thinking too slow. I'm not talking too fast. They're thinking too slow. So this is what I'm gonna say. When we in the hood, and most of us are not Buddhists, is it because Buddhist is not the religion of black people, or is it because Buddhism is not readily accessible to us like Islam, Judaism, and Christianity? So when we ask, are the Africans wrong for being Islamic? That question is a fuck spass and it's a straw man's argument. But hold on, my brother. Because we were colonized over there, and the colonizer at that particular time, his religion was Islam, so by default, we would subscribe to it. When Red Cross comes down there and your stomach is touching your back, and they feed the African food.
He's intentionally lying to you.
Hold on. Can I finish? Can I finish? Okay, I'm gonna hurry up. Can I finish? Come on, brother. When Red Cross comes down off a helicopter and sees the African stomach touching his back, and he has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich here. Meanwhile, while the Negroes in America have a pan-Africanistic movement and say that Islam is the new Egyptian doctrine and try to steal the doctrine, whatever. When the white man come up that helicopter and give that brother whose stomach is touching his back a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and that brother says, whoop, and that shit fills up and he can now see some distance between his stomach and his back, he says, how did I get this sandwich? And Red Cross says, man, your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence if we start worshiping. Hold on. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? I'm about to finish. Let me finish. Can I finish?
Nobody is advocating Islam for our people.
Can I finish?
Nobody is
Can I
advocating
finish,
Islam for our
man?
people.
I hear you, right? I'm gonna finish. My last minute. My last minute. My last minute. My last minute. Come on, Imam, please don't do that. I'm gonna let you eat, Imam. So what I'm saying is this: when we ask, yo, are the Africans wrong? Could they practice Islam? Are the Africans that are making subscriptions to the religion of the person that fed them wrong for practicing that? Or do we understand that they may be victims of circumstance on account to massive forms of colonization? So Islam don't necessarily have to be the religion of the African, because a lot of Africans find themselves to be Muslim. They could
This is because
nobody cut you on. Let them go.
Hold on, real quick.
Look, we need to make something clear. We are not teaching or subscribing a religion for anybody. People have the right to be whatever they want. But when you start opening your damn mouth about history and you are 100% incorrect, we have to correct you.
Now let me kill
That's
him real
all
quick.
we're
Now
doing.
let me kill him
What's
real quick.
incorrect about what I just said?
First of all, what's incorrect about what he said is not
religion makes our people
Hold on.
angry. Before we go too far and we start arguing if there was such a thing as disease back then, that's not my point.
Go ahead.
So let's not go there.
So why you bring it up then?
You cut me off so you wouldn't know.
Oh, go ahead, beloved. I'm going to go ahead.
So the point is this. I was going to ask you a series of questions and ask you, do you think it even equates to what black people are subjected to today in this present day and time? That's what I'm going to ask you one. Because one thing we all agree to, we had a way of life prior to this. And if you think that we was running around rampant homosexuals with high blood pressure and diabetes,
Hell no.
so now what I'm saying is, what were we doing then? Did we have mass records of raping going on all throughout Egypt? No. I'm not talking about during invasion. I'm talking about pre-dynastic Egypt extended until the acquisition comes in, until the colonization comes in. All I'm saying is this. What were we doing prior? And do we ever intend as adults to say if it wasn't broke, why try to fix it with Islam? Why try to fix it with Christianity? I ask you, what were we doing prior to Islam, prior to Christianity? Second part of the question.
Let me answer the first one.
Hold on, second part.
Do the first one first.
But let me. I want you to add it on. It's not difficult.
Go ahead.
The second part of the question is this, brother. If you were kidnapped, and your language was taken from you, and then someone teaches you how to read and what to read, and today you are a Muslim and today you are a Christian, is it logical to say that these are our religions, or is it logical to say that this is foreign to us?
Okay, listen, before an invasion, for one, I use an example of Timbuktu, which we know, Mansa Musa, Sunni Ali, those Moors were before any cracker came in and took them out off their square, they converted to Islam. Period.
You said converted.
Wait.
What were they prior?
Also,
you said converted.
Just see, when you're saying what were they prior, some of them were Yoruba, some of them was metaphysics, some of them was voodoo, they had many different ways of expressing their spirituality. For one, there was no centered way where we said the whole continent of Africa believed in metaphysics.
Do you know?
So is that what you're trying to tell us?
No. Do you know what religion comes out of Yoruba?
What are you talking about?
Do you know what religion comes out of Yoruba?
No, I don't. Educate me, bro.
Christianity. Christianity comes out of Yoruba.
So if Christianity comes out of Yoruba, then that still means that it derives from black people. So wait. So if we're going to say Christianity came from Yoruba, which is an African religion, so therefore we got to say that this religion is of our people anyway.
No.
Period. Period.
Why are we taking
when it was talking? Christianity is a black religion, but it was twisted when it was given back to us. Okay, so don't disagree because we're saying the same thing. But what I'd like to ask,
but we don't agree on Islam being.
But what I'd like to ask you, Polight, is because I didn't get the answer when you asked him what were we doing before. I don't know exactly what we were doing, but I'm sure it was right. It was many different things. It was holistic, whatever it was. So what's your suggestion, that we go back and go back to Kemetic religions or Yoruba religions? Or
this is what I'm talking about. If we go,
you gotta pick one.
I'm gonna show you how it works, brother. You see, you in a religious state of mind.
Go ahead.
You see, when I say what
We all are.
Now let me
We
show
all
you.
are.
No,
According to definition, we all are.
Hold on.
According to the definition, we all have a religion. According to the definition
know what
of
my
religion.
You said that 4 times. Now let me finish.
Chess.
But
And that's your religion.
now let me finish this,
That's your
brother.
religion.
When I
Chess
say
is my religion.
You have one.
I'm gonna show you. I'm
So
gonna show
when you
you.
bang on religion, you banging on your chest.
Let me show you the psychology. Hold on. Let me show you the psychology of the religious world today. If I were to ask somebody, right, what were you doing prior to going to school? They wouldn't be thinking what God was you worshiping in that context. I said, what were black people doing prior to being kidnapped and their language being taken away? And the first thing he wants to do is think about God in another doctrine. Hold on, brother. That's why I asked you about the food, but you cut me off. So now I'm gonna show you something. What were we eating? Because I'm gonna show you something. Religion, right, doesn't cover all these things.
Right.
You feel me? But our way of life, our culture we had. What were the ancient?
Quran does.
Hold on.
Quran does.
I hear you,
The
brother.
Quran cover everything?
Listen,
Everything.
Yo, listen.
all right.
Hold on. I got a question. You make subscriptions to the Nation of Islam?
No, I make some restrictions. I'm a Muslim of the Ahmadi faith.
Do you eat bean pie?
No.
Do you eat beef?
Yes.
I don't
Does the-
want to
does
do
the-
this to you,
hold
but
on,
I
no.
got to do it. No. I don't want to do this
We know
to
he
you,
loves
man.
the most honorable Allah.
Remember when you
Go ahead.
debated Ali Muhammad?
I didn't accuse you, brother.
So go ahead.
I didn't accuse you.
Go ahead.
So I said we. I
Come
didn't
on, we
accuse
playing
you.
these games.
I'm not playing.
Wait, we play these games
We never got to answer
with the people.
Let me
Hold
show
on,
you something.
That's not
I had a
playing the
question.
game.
No, let me show you. I had a question, right?
Go ahead.
It wasn't answered. And then the sister said, Brother Polight, what I want to ask you, because the question wasn't answered when I asked you. She said, I want to ask you the question you asked him.
Go ahead,
Which
Polight,
I
go
did
ahead.
answer.
And now,
What she said I did after we went
no,
over there.
but there was a discrepancy. There was a discrepancy.
Right. So I answered.
So when I asked, what were we doing?
Go ahead.
Prior to being kidnapped.
What was we doing, Polight?
Prior to having our language taken from us, prior to being
weren't Muslims.
Hold on, brother. Prior to us being re-educated, prior to us learning how to read, prior to us being told what to read when we learned how to read, I simply said, what was we doing? And my brother automatically, in a religious mind, alluded to another form of worship. This is what religion does. But we had a way of life that people made out into religion.
That's right.
We was just living our lives and niggas made religion out of it.
There you
Some
go.
people saw our clothes and made it into garbs. Some people saw our food and made it into religious laws. Some people saw our moral systems and turned that into commandments. But us, we just lived a simple way of
Go ahead.
life, and everybody saw it was deep and profound, and they took Tai Chi.
The lie
And they
detector
took
says
martial
that's
arts.
a lie.
So
the lie detector says that's a lie.
Listen, brother. Lie detector
Hold on,
says-
wait.
So let me just finish the
If
point.
you
Let me
got-
just finish
if
the
you
point,
have
brother.
the right
Let me
to
just
go to
finish the
war-
point, brother. Let me just finish the point.
Go ahead.
Let me just finish the point. What I'm saying is this. You see, today we have a gang culture.
They just live
My
it.
brother, hold on.
Right, that's what you say.
Today we have a gang culture. Is that a religion? No, it's not. Today we have a hip hop.
it is a religion.
Okay, I know what you want
According
to
to
do. I'll
definition.
keep going forward because I know you know what I'm talking about. I won't play like that. Today we also have hip hop culture. Is that a religion? No, it's not. And we know what we mean by religion is subscribing to a certain God in particular and everything like that. So what I'm saying is today we have what we call soul food, and it was consistent of mac and cheese and yams and all this other shit. And what I'm saying is, in our pristine state, in our way of life, the original man, us, original woman, would not even be eating so much as a white potato because 75% of us can't even break it down. The original man and woman would not have even been drinking milk because we are lactose intolerant by nature. And these things don't exist in Africa. The original man and woman was not beseeching protein in Africa. We didn't even have a context. Hold on, brother. Just listen to me. Now you need to listen to me. Listen to me. First of all, there's different types of protein. So the type of protein that we beseech through chicken.
But you
and
said we didn't acquire protein.
listen.
That's what you said, but we did.
We didn't.
Okay.
We didn't. You know
So we
why?
didn't-
Because our main.
We didn't get protein?
No, we did use protein. We did use protein, but we didn't beseech it the way we do today to say we got to eat chicken. And
They ate protein.
My
Let's get that
brother,
right.
Bashir,
Yes,
you
brother.
cut
Come
them
on,
off.
brother.
Yes, all right.
They took in protein. They didn't eat protein per se, but they took it in. But the point is this: today in this culture, we learn we need iron. But guess what? For instance, anemia comes in, which is an adaptive disorder, which is when the body creates a defense mechanism, parasites, okay, to protect itself. It's an adaptive disorder that comes about from us being changed geographically. If you do enough research, you'll learn we wouldn't even have anemia in certain geographical locations. So what I'm saying is this: by being taken out of our culture, we were stripped away from the conventional foods we would eat, the conventional weather we would have, and this would bring about insanity. And the proof of this is this: when you go to a zoo they work very hard to simulate their environment the same way that the animals used to live in. So if that animal lives with its parents, it brings the parents. If the lion is used to being in a relatively warm environment, they make sure they simulate the same environmental patterns, because if you don't give that lion or you don't give that bear a similar scenario in which it used to thrive, it will go crazy. So when we dealing with religion today, it's making us go crazy because it doesn't make subscriptions to the way of life we had. So, and the religion doesn't reference the way of life we had because it comes after the way of life we had. So you see how a Jew can eat collard bread on the Sabbath.
No, that sounds good, but check this.
It sounds good.
It sounds good. It sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good. Let me tell you why.
Sounds good.
Let me tell you why it sounds good. Let me tell you why it sounds good.
Get this work.
When you look, yeah, he gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. When you looking at my eye, they have inscriptions that they call coming forth by day or night. The book of the day.
That's right.
So these people are saying these are the negative confessions that we follow. I have not stole, right? So on and so forth. So for him to imply that somehow that was systematic. That's not the way you just saying we were just living it, we didn't record it, we didn't put it together, and we didn't have common customs and goals. No, it's not historically accurate like he's saying. When you look at, you look at the Moors in Timbuktu, right? They kept all of their African traditions as well as this Islamic tradition, and not only...
When you get there in front of when you get there, they don't want to hear about your race, your culture, your what. They're interested in what you've done with that spirit, that the divine spirit placed in you. What did you do with it? Did you manifest it or did you abuse it? And they said, I have been in judgment. I have been in judgment. I promised God that I was going to give myself a Magnum 44 and blow a couple of brains out. When I was 7 years old, I sat on Christ's knee and I promised him that I didn't want to die.
Thank you, Mama. Alright, so our brother is not giving us the correct history. That's for one. Now, when you look at the point of the Moors, for example, the Moors held all of their African cultures. George G.M. James, Sheikh Anta Diop, Ivan Van Sertima, they all bear witness to this.
And they didn't call themselves Moors.
Yeah,
check.
That's true. That's true. So the whole thing.
So now I'm confused.
Hold on, wait.
Are you talking about Moors or you not? Y'all Muslims can't agree on nothing.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Are you talking about Moors or not? That's what we want to know.
We are talking about Moors.
He just said they didn't call themselves Moors.
We don't take down the pictures.
He just said they didn't call themselves Moors. You're talking about Moors. He said they didn't call themselves Moors. So how could you be talking about the same thing?
No.
That's the conventional name that was used for.
Right.
Keep talking.
Exactly. Yeah, see, we don't want
Muslims are always trying to cover up each other's shit.
We helping this group right here.
Exactly.
Look.
History shows us that those Muslims that is known as Moors, for example, they are the ones that held down the African culture. They are the ones that preserved the teachings of Kemet, so on and so forth. Also, when you had the Persian, the Greeks, and the Romans that came in and took... when you had them that came in and took over Kemet, who was it that came in and brought Egypt back to the people? It was the Muslims. So when you look how the Islamic Empire spread it, and the Black Caliphate, not pale Arabs, the Caliphate is the leader of all the Muslims. So if the leaders of all the Muslims and the Emir and the Khulafa is the head of all the Muslims, then therefore they have no subjugation and no force to come into the religion of Islam.
Bring it back over here. Ask this brother a question.
The question is this,
what do we do right now? And you said you was gonna come to me.
Okay.
Now let me test that.
You gotta answer it.
Let me test. I want to talk about right now. Because we cleared up the history. I want to talk about right now. If black people looking at their situation right now and they want to solve their problems, let me ask you a question. How you gonna solve it? And the answer is really simple.
Say it again, Ali.
I said, if black people want to solve their problems right now in real time, how are they going to solve their problems? It's very easy.
Yo, the brother said all this shit is bullshit.
It is. No. It might be bullshit to him, but let's ask this question because we got black men out here. Let's see if you really bother.
People listen.
If you want to solve your problem, the only thing that you have to do is form a government on this land.
I agree.
Now, every aspect of forming that government says that you have to deal with all aspects of what government entails. Defense and intelligence, economics and engineering, diplomacy, health, community action, family, arts and culture. Everything that you make, you should own. And if you like, hold on, let me finish. In order to do that,
Don't start that
let me
Israelite
finish.
stuff.
We ain't talking about no religion. We ain't mentioning nothing about no religion.
That's right.
We ain't mentioning. Let me
start
finish.
that, man.
Don't distract away from the real conversation.
That's right.
So, no, the real conversation is how do you form a sustainable government on this land so that we can be effective and functional? I can answer the question. That's not true. No, it's not. Let me finish. There are people right here on this land right here that's doing a lot of things, but we don't talk enough. And after we finish talking, it's time to work. It ain't time to be talking no bullshit. If you want to save money and build an economic empire and then move and make relationships on this planet, you have to excel at the information. And the problem is we are not excelling at the information in these departments that I'm talking about. So if we can excel in those departments and we have people that have proven that they can do it, all we need to do is get in fucking line, learn the system, and execute it. There ain't nothing else to talk about.
It's not that complex.
That's a fact.
That's all good.
I agree with that shit.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But everybody here know that the foundation of connection and culture and relationship that we have as human beings has been destroyed. So everybody come up with their version. Hold up, let me build.
Let him go.
Let me build. We ain't gotta yell.
That's the spirit of the creative, my brother. Go ahead.
Fam.
He's creative.
He's in all of us, so I can say
you
ain't
may
got
not
to
thrive in that capacity, but he means you. He don't mean you no offense, man. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is everything everybody's saying here from a book, everybody heard before.
That's not from no book.
Let me just say this.
Go ahead.
All that other shit come. How we do that?
It's in our family.
Hold up. Hold up. Keep talking.
In our family.
Go ahead. But hold up. But the foundation of it is with the kids. As long as we are, hold up.
Nah, this is going too far.
As long as we,
so y'all can get back to
I just want to say that.
Go ahead.
We agreeing.
Of course we agreeing. As long as we can walk around our communities and see the things that we see and not directly address it in the moment. All right, then.
Strategy. Let me tell you something about strategy.
No.
Let me go back.
Real quick, my brother.
The strategy is if you build your family, you're focusing the energy in the right direction.
Yes.
You can't. This is a war. You can't save everybody. What kind of general or man would think that he can save everybody? You save the ones that want to be saved, and you build with that, God.
That's right.
That's how you lose.
Look,
that's how you lose.
Everybody don't rule
We
the
ain't
world.
losing. We ain't been losing. What are you talking about, guys?
I'm saying that's how you lose.
Yo, listen, man.
That's how you lose.
Listen. This is the problem. Look, this is the problem.
If you need me, I'm sorry,
Go.
If you need me to help you fight, you gotta have a connection with me.
That's right. We gotta be on the same team. If we don't, I'm not gonna waste my energy.
Okay, hold up. So then the basic foundation of that comes in, what are we doing? Are we playing football or basketball, right? So we all gotta be in sync with the same goal.
Enough of us gotta be
from the
sync.
seed.
Everybody,
hold up.
It's a myth that everybody is gonna be on the same.
No, you don't hear me say.
It's a myth.
We standing here right now again.
Right. So we're not destroyed.
That's not. There's more that we have in common than not in common, but the context of the conversation continues to go into what you think, what he think, what she think.
That was just discussion. That was just discussion.
That was a dialogue we were having
we
to
do
stimulate
that.
people's interest.
We do that to show that we have different views. But when we came to the discussion on self-government, did you hear him say anything?
I agree.
Did you say him anything? Nobody's going to disagree on that point.
Of course, because that's
why. Why? Why?
Because of power.
So why are you offended by our prior disagreements when we can come together on the main point and agree?
That's what we're talking about, man.
Offense is the wrong word.
May I come in?
All I'm saying is this.
Hold on.
The average person walking around who's black, is seeing and feeling everything that's happening.
Right.
Semantics.
Yo, hold on, stop. Now, let me, hold on, brother. This is the issue that I'm having. Hold on, my brother, hold on. Hold on, my brother. Word. This is the baby Imam. All right, come on.
Bottom line,
Now listen.
being a baby.
All right, listen.
Let's get that clear. Whether you agree or not, you relax. You been cursing all day. You how you talking about,
All
man?
I'm saying,
Out of my
bro,
face,
is let
man.
the brother finish.
Like I said, bottom line, hold on. He been filibustering.
You're a baby
According to who?
with no knowledge.
According to who? According to who? You. According to you.
You can't.
Therefore, what you say, just because you say doesn't make it so.
The problem is that we have to understand that the cultures change from place to place. For one,
We were taken from place to place.
But before
the Greeks call it the
anybody
negative
kidnapped,
confessions, not us.
Before anybody kidnapped,
We didn't call it the negative
the
confessions.
Ma'at,
That was the Greeks.
the negative
That's right.
confections.
We called it the book
call
coming
it that,
forth
but
by
they
day
had
and
it.
by night.
I just said that. So why you saying it again? When you look at that book, these people had inscriptions to the afterlife. So what are we talking about? What are you trying to say? So it shows us that
What
our
I'm
people,
trying to say is
our
that
people
Islam is
has
an
always,
enslaved religion.
Islam,
It teaches you how to be a slave.
We
Look at
always
it.
evolve.
Look at it.
We always evolve.
When you want to speak, you want to
It's
say your name in
evolution.
Arabic.
It's evolution,
when you
man.
dress up, you dress like you're on a fucking desert somewhere.
Who?
You walking on concrete, not you. Now, but look at
Millions of Muslims don't do that.
Your goddamn beard.
All Muslims don't do that.
Trying to spit, yo.
All
you
Muslims
cannot
don't
hide
do that.
yourself with somebody else's
What about
culture.
this?
talking about?
The devil pulling on their legs. Remember this one?
Right.
Muslims.
Come on, man.
Look,
You
that's
walking up
somebody
and down
else.
here in Harlem
Look.
with a goddamn sheet wrapped around you like you a damn Arab.
No, you telling somebody else that.
Come on, brother.
You telling somebody else that.
So-
This what I'm saying.
so how come
This
y'all
the
don't
problem,
follow it?
This the problem
How come
with
you're
our
not following
so-called conscious community. Because we're going to use one thing and try to manipulate it and mold it into something it doesn't have to be. Do I agree that we were kidnapped and brought here, knowledge stolen, language stolen, all of that? We understand that. That's obvious. But for you to say,
What about
but for you to say,
What
what
were
were we before?
What were we doing?
Do you agree that the Arabs enslaved our people and raped our mothers? You
Yes,
agree to
that took place.
And they,
yes.
they said,
the Arabs.
Assalamu
In
alaikum.
the name of Allah.
Do you,
the
in the name of
Arabs.
Allah, right?
Brother.
In the name of
And
Allah.
he said there was no racism.
See, you ain't answering it.
Now hold on.
Listen.
He said there was no racism
said
in
there was no
Islam,
racism.
but now he agrees that they enslaved us.
Listen.
Right.
I'm sure slavery has something to do with
Everybody
racism.
knows the Quran says don't eat pork. Everybody knows the Quran says don't eat pork.
getting cut,
If
bro.
I go get a pork sandwich,
When
you gonna say,
step-
oh my
when you
God, look
step
at that
up against
Muslim
the house of
following the
consciousness,
Quran.
You gotta get ready, bro.
Look at that Muslim following the Quran. If the Quran says don't enslave, if the Quran says don't eat that pork, for example, and I eat it, how you gonna say Muslims eat pork? It don't make sense. It's not logical. It's not logical. And especially Dr. York himself used Islam. So let's stop playing games.
And he
with
came
the
out of it
essence.
too.
Yeah, he
And it
came
was-
out of it. He
and
went a whole
now-
nother other
now,
places
now
too.
listen,
But
if you
probably
want to
should've
talk
stayed
about
with that
Dr.
Islam.
York, you see, they act like they don't watch my videos. They act like they don't study my life. But then they say, oh, you doing so about money. We ain't had a money conversation. You said that while you was talking to somebody.
Right.
Now you said, Dr. York. Because I'm getting under his skin.
No,
now let me
no.
tell you, hold on, brother.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. If you since you brought Dr. York up doing Islam when he was practicing as Sayyid Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, then understand this. It was a school of thought. Dr. York always told us don't get caught up in religion. Some niggas always got left back. But he said it was a school of thought because we're part of all. We study everything. You won't know where you belong until you study everything that your spirit gives you an inclination towards. If you stay inside of only one book, you cannot rest assured that this is the truth. But if you study everything and make comparative studies, then you can find some level of contentment.
But that's the teaching of the Quran. That's the teaching
But
of the
I'm just saying,
Quran.
you try to put something out there about Dr. York.
What do you mean no?
You
The
try to
Quran-
put something out
the
there about
The
Dr. York.
Quran teach everything, right?
The Quran says,
Do the
hold on,
Quran
real
teach
quick.
everything?
Yes.
It also
Tomorrow
teach
I'll be
open heart
at the National
surgery,
Black
right?
Dinner, about
If you want to
3
get somebody
o'clock.
open heart surgery, you got to get out of the Quran. Hold up, brother. You got to
you
come
can-
out of the
you can read it right
Quran
there.
and you got to go get you a medical book, right?
First of all, this is what
So
I'm saying.
therefore, the Quran don't teach
No,
everything.
this is what I'm
brother.
saying.
Come on, man.
Look, you're saying if you're going to say literally, it teaches
Yeah,
you
but
how
I'm trying to prove to you
this
that
what
the
I'm telling
Quran
you.
don't teach
It does,
everything.
and I must explain how. First of all, the Quran expresses to understand religious knowledge as well as secular knowledge. And therefore, the Quran also says the Jews, the Sabians, and those that do good, they will get their they will get their award with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Do the Quran teach
the Quran teaches you to go study heart surgery.
Do the Quran teach you how to eat?
Go study.
Do it teach you how to eat?
Yes, it does.
Like what?
Yes, it does.
What it tells us to eat?
What it tells us to eat?
I mean, it's the whole concept of halal food. I mean, everybody knows that, man.
What? Cut the animal head off so the adrenaline don't rush, so you don't eat the poison.
So is that the only thing that makes
the Quran teach you how to eat meat?
Halal is
the Quran tells you to eat meat.
It does.
But we all know that meat is not good for you.
That's a lie. The cracker meat nowadays is not good for you. Our people been eating meat for centuries, man.
Doesn't mean it's right.
Tons and thousands of years.
The Quran also tell you to drink milk.
Wait, you go back 50 years. Wait, you go sit back 50 years before everything was genetically modified and cloned. Our grandparents were living long lives.
Let me ask you a question.
Long lives.
Let me ask you a
100
question.
years,
No,
110 years, 90 years old. So you ain't gonna tell me that our people live long lives and then all of a sudden, when genetically modified and come into place of GMOs,
we got you.
This is what caused the food to go bad.
Does a righteous Muslim get to have 72 wives when he dies?
Nah, we don't consent to that.
You don't consent to that.
No.
Where's that at?
Oh, that's in the Hadith.
Do you follow the Hadith, or you take what you like and leave some stuff out?
First of all, the Quran itself helps you establish what to accept and what not to accept.
Do you?
Wait. Anything?
He ain't asked you that, brother. He asked you something else.
Listen and learn, man. Listen and learn. Anything that's contrary to the primary book, what is the Quran, we don't accept it.
So you don't deal with the Hadith at all?
No.
So you deal with some of the Hadith?
If it contradicts what the Quran says, which is the main source, that's how we say we reject that, because the Quran says something different.
So now I'm asking you another question.
Go ahead.
This is a very serious book, because the Quran is a serious book, because this is what you
Go to it,
No,
please.
That's a serious book.
We ain't been in it yet.
This is your faith, so it's a serious book. So now what we're going to talk to you about is any book that talks about that serious book. Do you follow Hadith or not? And if you find contradiction in Hadith, why would you still follow Hadith? Because they are lying against Allah's word. Why would you follow a book in any essence if it already has contradiction based on what Allah says?
Well, you better turn it up, man. You know this going on Black News 102.
I use this like this. When you are eating food, you're supposed to eat to nourish the body. When you put the food in, your body takes what's good and rejects what is bad. It's the same concept. So therefore, we know that there has been alteration in the Hadith, but not the Holy Quran.
So who decides?
Wait. If it goes against what the Quran says. If I see a Hadith that says eat pork is not hard, the Quran says pork is forbidden and it's haram, right? So if it's haram, then we know that Hadith is rejected.
So why you against the Muslim? And why don't y'all believe in that? But y'all still study the Hadith.
It's not consistent with the Quran.
And where is it not consistent with the Quran?
What do you mean?
How is it not consistent with the Quran teaches?
Because yeah, it's
but this is in depth. This is in depth.
Your prophet Muhammad was having sex with a 9-year-old girl.
That's not true. Go to YouTube. I made the video.
That's not true.
I made the video to prove the Hadith wrong. Go to
the Hadith said it, it's wrong.
Go to.
You see, they hand select what they want out the Hadith.
Muhammad's marriage to Aisha on YouTube. Brother Bashir, you'll see. I already showed.
So you saying that the Hadith is wrong?
That Hadith was
that Hadith.
Yes.
Now we got two Hadiths that are not good.
Right.
But he's still reading the book.
There's tons of them.
So why are you reading the Hadiths if it's working against the word of God?
First of all,
why are you reading something that is making look, brother, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
It's one thing if I read a scientific book, right? A so-called science book. And this science book doesn't purport to teach what God says, but tries to explain things based on man's comprehension and respect to his study. When I'm reading a book that professes that this is an account by my God, and I see time in and time out that there are inconsistencies, why am I reading a book that closely makes connections or associations with my God's testimony and fabricates it? It's not the chemistry book that might contradict my Quran. It's not the math book that might contradict my Quran. It is a book that says this is an appendage to what God
Not
has
true.
said.
Not true. Listen.
Why are you
When
reading something that has lied on Allah?
That's what, see, your whole
Why are you reading
understanding of it
that contradicts
is
Allah?
messed up. For one, the Quran, Dalikal Kitabul La Rayba Fi. This is a perfect book. The claim of the perfect book is the Quran. The ahadith,
It's not
no,
perfect
I'm talking
book. It has
facts. You don't have to
errors in
agree.
it, man.
What I'm saying is that it says it's the perfect book.
If it's the
not
perfect
the
book,
hadith.
we be in a perfect situation
Not
as
the
Muslims.
hadith. Not the hadith.
be in a perfect
That's
situation
because
as
you teaching us to worship the black woman instead of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why.
That's because the Quran taught me that, and then I believed it.
The Quran ain't taught you that.
The Quran taught me that
Come
the
on,
woman
bro.
is God.
Come on now.
Is there a lot? Is there a lot in the Quran?
Why you not naming the other names that was with them?
Because you said they took those gods out the book, didn't you?
Yes,
and
I
I
did.
asked you, who are the people
Yes,
that
I
took?
did.
And I asked you, who were the
These
people?
were stones.
Brother,
They wasn't
stop,
people,
brother,
they
so
were
we both can
stones.
listen to each other. Who are the people that decided we're gonna have to take these other gods out the book? Because I know ancient Egypt had multiple gods. I know you don't like me talking about Egypt. So now we say we gotta take everybody out and make Allah one. And Prophet Muhammad is messenger. So let me ask you a question, brother. Who are the people that decided to take all those gods out of the Quran?
Until Akhenaten came.
And who gave them the right to change God's word?
Until Akhenaten came. And said Akhenaten, he said was the one God that we gonna worship.
You keep saying until Akhenaten came because you don't really want to specify who. Now I'm asking you, who were the people that decided we need to take these words out even though it's supposed to represent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's word?
First of all, they didn't take the words out. The words are there. But the verse that you're talking about says they took idols for worship, and there's none for worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are a couple of names.
Is Allah's name in dual form in the Quran? Is it in plural form in the Quran? Is it in feminine form in the Quran? Is it in masculine form in the Quran? And how come you get mad at me because I make subscriptions to other than just a one male God? This is stuff your Bible teaches, your Quran teaches this. So why do you look at me like I have two heads when I say I worship a female God when your Quran attests to a female God? It attests to your God in duality. I told you it has Allahain, it has Allahumma, it has Allah, it has a lot. So why do you look at me so deceitful as if you don't know where I'm getting this from?
First of all, you just ran a whole bunch of stuff. Let me show you how you didn't understand it.
Okay.
Because when you're talking about plural, Allah is not plural in the sense that you're using that word plural as we use it in English.
Okay.
So going back into Arabic, we would say this is the unity of Allah. Meaning what? Hold up.
Meaning
what?
that y'all cleaning that shit up because there's multiple gods.
No, listen. Listen.
He's saying there's more than one ultimate God. It's just that God had helpers.
Exactly.
But listen.
No doubt.
Right. This is why we say.
Don't be insecure.
Hold up.
You ever been to heaven?
This is why we say.
been to heaven?
Hold up. This is saying.
You ever been to heaven?
This is why we say La
You ever
ilaha
been to
illallah.
heaven?
Wait, let me finish this last part. This is
wanna
why
know
we
if you
say
ever been to
La
heaven.
ilaha illallah. There is none worthy of worship except Allah. Right?
And Prophet
Now,
Muhammad is
if
his
he,
messenger.
and
The
if
black
he,
woman is God, man.
the black woman is not God.
You ever
Of
been to
course
heaven?
not.
You
Yes,
ever
I've
been
been
to
to
heaven?
heaven. Yes, I've been to heaven.
When you been to heaven? You ever been to heaven?
Every time I go in
You
my
ever
black
been to
woman,
heaven?
I've been to heaven.
That's right.
And that's the womb of Allah.
I don't
care what you say.
I don't know.
I bet you shit take
You know
no
what?
ass to heaven.
You
Okay.
gotta get in the
Let me
right
ask you
thing.
this.
Once you get in the right
Let me ask you
thing,
this.
you'll feel like
You gonna
would,
say that? We gonna high five that?
Hell
But
yeah, we gonna high five
to me, I feel. Hold up. I feel bad for the woman because why she ain't going to heaven? She not getting no heaven. She's not getting no heaven. When she wait. When you say that sexual relation with the woman is your heaven.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me. Now what I'm asking you, hold up. Now what I'm asking you, are you giving her heaven
You come
too?
out of heaven and you
Are you giving her heaven
You
too?
spend the
Yes
rest
or
of your
no?
life trying to get back to heaven.
The bottom line is, whether you believe it or not, or accept it or not, I could care less.
We love you,
You think I'm a baby according to who? That's
love you,
what
brother.
you think.
Don't
You
make-
welcome to think
don't make that be the argument, though, brother.
Nah, but
Don't make that be the argument.
But the bottom line is, hold on. But the bottom line is this.
What's the solution?
You're
bottom
playing
line
into what he was just
The Now, the bottom line is it. Now, as far as I'm concerned, bottom line is fear God and keep His commandments. Shit, we gotta get some kind of. I do agree with that wholeheartedly.
Even if you buy a property, if you don't have the legal and the economic knowledge, you can buy this property right here and go down to the wrong office and register it. I'm telling you, we got updated information and have been working on it for years. So now you're gonna have to sit and learn. We've been through that paradigm. I'm gonna buy 10 properties or whatever. That's the American dream. Fuck the American dream. Right. We talking about something completely different. We talking about something completely different that's new that we've been working on and projects that we've been working on. If you want to solve problems amongst people, put them under the same governmental structure and then make them behave properly. You can raise your children and your families in those structures. We have those different types of indigenous structures or whatever structures that you're going to talk about. They're already operable. So we don't have to talk about beliefs no more. Beliefs are for you at your home, a little debate. We have some fun with it, talk about some history. We got that. That's fun. But our people right now have been suffering genocide and denationalization. These are legal terms. We ain't got no time for no beliefs. Denationalization means you lost your identity politically. And then you lost your socio-economic paradigm. And you didn't just come here on slave ships. You've been here and had governments here on this land before anybody. So you need to learn that and learn the methodologies to employ and implement those things. All we're saying is we already have models. I'm talking about business development models. So when we approach that and continue that dialogue, if we continue that dialogue, it matures the conversation. Then we can have these side Islam Kemetic discussions, and that's cool. But we gotta have some discussions that can immediately put resources into your pocket and save you from the encumbrances and the attacks that have been upon you since you've been a slave. And we got those models.
And that's why we're talking to you about common customs, which is a calculus system that precipitates culture. Listen to it carefully. Culture is a subconscious mind of the people. It protects themselves from themselves. Culture protects the people from themselves. When you have a culture put into place, you don't even have to think about the right or the wrong thing to do. It's like a kata in martial arts. If you go through a 15-set kata, the second someone does this to you, that might be on your 4th or 5th set of the kata, you already fall into position on how to respond without having to think about it. So culture is a defense mechanism for our people. When we're lacking
culture right now,
we do. Now hold on. We do. Now slow down. We do have culture. Now the realization is this: everybody's not going to make subscriptions to the same culture. That's number one.
You give them food, clothing, shelter, they will.
No, listen, brother. Listen to me carefully. That's the complaints that we have. We gotta make a differentiation from the complaints to how to employ an effective methodology. Now hold on. No, I heard you. I hear you, but listen to me carefully.
Follow me down the block.
I hear all of that, right? But this is the complaint structure. Now when someone stands here and says we have government, when someone stands here and says we have common customs, when someone says what are common customs, and you say it's a calculative system that precipitates culture by process of differentiation and integration, we're able to find the value of smaller things and factorials of those equivalents, thus granting us permutations, which gives us the least adverse effects from the decisions that we make. Home in on that last part. Culture gives you the least adverse effects from the decisions that you make. Granted, the permutations have been studied. What does all this mean? Because someone's going to say that this is over our head. We try, we fail, we try, we fail, we pass, we succeed, we fail. We take what works, we take what doesn't, we take what works, we take what works, we take what doesn't, and we put them in combinations that are the most conducive for us. Therefore, we find which idea gives us the least adverse effects from practices. Like for instance, if you watch Jews, when they practice the Sabbath and they cook their challah bread, they ain't a nigga in sight making that challah bread. And even if he tried to make the challah bread for the Sabbath, even if a brother tries to make challah bread for the Sabbath, are they going to buy it? No, because it's not part of their culture. Now, in that mechanism, their culture has protected themselves from their own ignorance, because part of their embedded psychology of their culture is to only patronize for and amongst each other. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is this: whenever we have these complaints, we have complaints about, yo, we need our own food, right? They say we need food. Hold on. Listen. You said, listen to me, Kevin. Let me finish up. Food, clothing, and shelter is what you said, right? Listen.
That you can get the people.
Listen, hold on, brother. Food, clothing, and shelter is something you said, right?
In context
It's not a trick. Listen, it's not a trick.
We understand you. We understand you.
It's not a trick. Let me finish. Let me finish up. Food, clothing, shelter, something he said. We'll say we need our own schools. We'll say we need our own farms. We'll say that we need our own hospitals. We need our own spiritual institutions. Listen to me carefully. If you're going to get your own farms, you're going to need knowledge of real estate. If you're going to get your own schools, you're going to need knowledge of real estate. If you get your own hospitals, you're going to need knowledge of real estate. If you get your own spiritual institutions, you're going to need knowledge of real estate. But then when we say, okay, it's time to study real estate, and you may say that's not in my mind, then let the people who have it in their mind do it, and when they facilitate a program to which you could benefit, just be part of the benefit. And what I mean by this is this: when you set up a government, we're asking everybody to be part of the government. It doesn't work like that. We're talking about the minds that have it innate in them to facilitate programs and services so that the people can make subscriptions to it.
Look up the word denationalization. Look up the word denationalization, you'll know what you're in right now. And this is why all your resources are going somewhere else, because you don't have a socio-political structure. You start the socio-political structures locally. You connect them. It's not that hard, and you know the methodologies to do so.
You don't ask everybody to become the government. You create the government, you make subscriptions to that government that you choose to oblige to, and that's how we make the reformation.
And it's already happening.
So when we ask, what do black people need to do? If you are not going to create the governmental structure, beseech one, look for one that is in your community, because you can't say one doesn't exist. He has a governmental structure, we have a governmental structure. We're not talking to you about a belief system. Those are the facets of a community in its inception in terms of growth. The culture will grow from the government. Understand what we're saying? We're not, look, when you talk about belief and everything, that's the shit that's going to keep us in disarray. We're talking about economics. We're talking about education. We're talking about healthcare. What are we going to do talking about being free?
Let me make it real practical.
How we going to be free?
How many people out here need a job? No, I'm just asking you a question. How many people need a job?
No,
come see me Monday. Come see me Monday down the street at the National Black Theater. I can give you a job Monday night. I do it every week. We do it every week. We don't have to theorize about this. I'm not even from New York. I come up here to help people who are not in the main jurisdiction amongst. This brother does the same thing. We can our conversation has to change.
The answer is join a goddamn community and stop complaining. That's my shit. We gonna tell you we need this, brother. We need that.
Learn the science of how to create one. You start with your own family, and you link with the people who are around you. And if you learn how to preserve your resources, you're gonna grow. This is the one problem, though. The one problem that you have in doing that is your own willpower, and you are making excuses. You're blaming everybody. You're blaming the white man. You're blaming your brother. You're blaming your cousin. You're blaming everybody.
Man.
The Creator put you here with infinite power to solve your own problems, and all you have to do is make a decision to do.
We have to stop complaining and just join a community. That's what it comes down to. Whenever somebody gives you the solutions, whenever someone starts giving solutions, somebody else throws more problems out there.
So you telling me that she's not doing the same thing?
You both going to heaven.
She's not doing the same. Okay, so hold up. So you can't just say, that's my point. You can't just say heaven lies with her. If you want to use that, it will have to be heaven lies with him and heaven lies with her. And then the two come together and make a supreme heaven. Hold up, that's common sense.
They worship the penis.
No.
Worship the penis.
First of all, no.
They don't want to give no credit to the
Y'all
woman.
want to make the woman.
The man told me
something that
he got no right to put her on a pedestal or put her up there. When I say the black woman is God, in dictionary reference, Merriam-Webster's dictionary, one who's in control of a specific aspect of creation.
How can a black woman be God and she's a white man?
Let him finish, he's going to tell you.
Explain that.
Can I explain?
Please.
Because the problem that you religious people have, when I use a word like God,
you very religious, bro.
The problem that the religious people have, right? The problem that y'all have is that y'all always take us back to spookism where God is in control of every single thing.
When I took you to something spooky.
Because you can't understand
what I mean. You don't understand the Quran. When I told you something spooky.
But you keep cutting me off every time I speak, brother.
Oh, go ahead. So I want to know what I said spooky, though. Please forget.
When you don't understand what I'm saying by the black woman is God, and I said it several times, and judging by what you've been saying, I know you've been keeping up with what I be teaching from time to time. So I don't think that you don't get it. I think you don't want to get it because of what religion does. Now, what I'm going to tell you, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, A God is one who is in a specific aspect of creation. If you typed it into Google, you will see, oh shit, that's an exact definition. Now that's a definition. I'm speaking English and I'm using the word based on its proper context.
Yeah.
Now, the woman has a 9-month gestational period. The man is not walking around here with a baby in a womb. Okay? So she's in control of that specific aspect of creation. So in that regard, that makes her God. She also has this yellow liquidy fluid called colostrum fluid that she secretes that gives us our ability to socialize better than people who wasn't breastfed, a stronger immunity, better than people that wasn't breastfed, and so forth and so on. So we don't give the child anything like that. It's external when we try to impart something upon them to make them more brilliant. But she gives them something that only she can give. Something like God. The way y'all describe God, our women give us something that no one else can give us, because the breast milk is designed in such a way that it caters to your weaknesses and your strengths. So if you got immunity on the strength, it will cater more to your intellect being weaker. And to balance it out, your breast milk is designed exclusively for you. It's a miracle serum exclusively for you that only the woman creates and no one else. And if someone else took that breast milk, if someone else took it, it would not be designed for them. It may nourish them to an extent, but it's not designed to bring them up to another level. Only your mother can do that to you. So when I say the black woman is God, I'm not sensationalizing religiously and saying she's in control of all this other stuff. I am saying that she is in control of specific aspects of creation, and for that I revere her. I am glad that my mother took the time out at some point in her life to do this for me. So I say all men and a form to honor their mother, I revere her as God, and I'm not afraid, but religion has made us afraid to call each other by our true name. We would rather call each other a nigger, or we would rather call a woman a bitch, or we'll call each other by names, right? That bring us right back into our sexuality, to breed insecurity and sexuality. So we'll call each other a dickhead, we'll call each other asshole, we'll call each other pussy, and this all comes from religion. When we had sex in the garden and we got shamed. You see what I'm saying? So they made us insecure about our own sexuality. And even when you look at the word Afro, the deity Aphrodite, or Aphrodite, or Aphrodite, she was the deity of love or lust or sex. And now, whenever we get accused of a crime, it is a sex crime most times. And why? Because it's our sexuality that they're obsessed with, like the aphrodisiac, which alludes to what? It's a sexual stimulant. Afro, you hear Afro and aphrodisiac. You hear Afro and Aphrodite. You hear Afro and the word Afro, and they call out here what? Kinky, which means to hug. So what I'm telling you is this, brother. I'm revering. I'm using a substitute, but we are afraid to use the word God because religion has spooked us out. By dictionary definition, she is our God because she has provided something to us that no one else can provide in this lifetime, saves her. That is not to take away from you as a man.
I'm not, first of all, you ain't gotta say
Not
take away
trying to take
from me,
nothing from you as a man,
I understand the position of the woman. What you said, the woman is the first teacher, she's the first mother, she's the first counselor, she's all of these things. She nourishes the children.
She's your heaven.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. But the other part of the equation, bringing the balance, is that that woman also needs that man to produce.
Right.
So therefore, at the bare minimum, these two entities, these two people have to be on the same level, for one. So to say the black woman is God, you have to call the black woman the black man God. You're absolutely right, they're not on the same level, because when it comes to holding the family structure, when it comes to holding the family structure, the man in the level of hierarchy, he is supposed to be the head of the household. Why?
So I told you it's something.
Wait, why? It's not subjugating, it's just role. It's just role. Because if you in your house and somebody busts that window, you ain't gonna say, baby, you got. You ain't gonna say, baby, you got. And the world depending on you.
Looking at
go get him. Spooky. There go the spooky shit again.
That's not what he said.
No, what I'm saying
there goes
is,
the spooky shit
why
again.
is he saying black woman God versus black woman and black man is God?
I'm gonna tell you why. Can I answer you?
You already answered.
No. I'm gonna ask me a question.
To not do it, wait, real quick, is actually an attack on the man.
No,
that's what that actually is.
Now let me ask you a question.
Not do it as an attack on the man.
So can you?
Not insecurity.
So then look, I'm gonna explain something to you. So if this is the logic we're gonna use, then it means that the black woman has been under attack
since the damn conscious movement, since the Black Power movement, because the black man has repeatedly been identified as God, and the woman has been identified as earth, something that you walk on. And ain't nobody bitch that the black woman is not being called God. So now, everybody has learned in this conscious circle right here, I guarantee everyone has heard the black man be revered as God, or the black man is God. But when we say the black woman is God also, he always want to get in the picture. Why you don't talk about me? Because we heard my brother. I'm not going to say also. And I'm not going to say also. You know why? Because for years we have been revered as God. So you know what? We learned this shit already. But yo, how come every time I give praise to the woman and also put her in the same seat of God, you gotta feel insecure as a man and say, how come you don't mention me too?
Because you wasn't mentioned long enough.
No. What I'm saying,
yeah, evidently.
No, what I'm saying is, there's a yin and a yang.
I got no problem with
There's a yin and a yang.
You know what?
If you want to mention both, if you want to call one guy, you have to call the other guy.
So why,
that is what I said before.
Hold on, but
when you watch, that is
if
what
you
I
said
said
if we want to call one guy, why we don't call the other guy?
That's
so
what I said.
If you want to call on Allah, why you don't call on Allah?
Because first of all, the Quran don't teach that. The Quran don't teach that.
Does the Quran got Allah in there?
Show me the verse of the Quran where it says Allah is the worship Allah. Worship Allah.
No such verse exists.
Exactly.
No such verse exists.
So what are you talking about?
But what does Allah mean? And it exists in the Quran.
Look, bro.
You see, you wanted to create a verse that don't exist. So I'm gonna tell you that verse don't exist. But it don't change the fact that God is mentioned as a female.
What is the verse that you're talking about with Allah in it? Tell me.
They're going to pull it up and Google because I'm not going to do this no more. We're going to pull it up.
You already said.
We're not doing this no more. Because I know how you guys do it.
It's not.
So now we're going on Google now.
It's not La ilaha Allah. It's La ilaha Allah. It's Kulhu Allah.
Yeah, that's a totally different verse. That's a totally different verse.
Not a lot.
That's a totally different verse.
It's Bismillah in the name of Allah, not a lot. So what are you talking about? Allah is in the Quranic verse as well as other names. But it's
so
not
why you just made it like it ain't in the Quran?
You just said it wasn't in there.
No.
You just said it's not in there.
Listen carefully because, you know, maybe the whole religion thing you're not listening. I said Allah is not in there that you worship Allah. That's what I was saying.
And I agree. That sentence is not in there.
Period. That's just like saying Isa's name is in there. You're supposed to worship him. It's stupid. It's redundant. It's silly.
Listen.
Yo, when you get some time, I hope we can step on that stage one day.
Yo, man,
I hope we can step on that stage one day.
Listen, brother.
Yo,
because when we break down those verses, you better ask Unc the God Killer. When we break down that Arabic verses,
ask Unc the God Killer.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be all good, bro. You better know, bro.
All we have to do is see the reviews.
Because you just talking and mixing and matching, and that ain't cool. That ain't cool.
What you gonna do?
You would be tight.
No, listen. When I put this on YouTube, and I'm gonna put it up there without no editing, biases, none of that. You're gonna see where the people sway at.
No, he's gonna see where he was at.
Already under the ideology. They already under the ideology.
Us here.
But
you talking about people that have no bias claim.
But
they
you
just
know,
want to learn.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they gonna come with me.
Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Sure. Because you know what wasn't talked about? Our condition wasn't talked about. But rhetoric about
our
names.
condition was talked about. You showing names. You showing our condition right now.
Yeah, I'm showing you our condition.
Yes.
Our condition is this. This is what our condition is. The destabilization of the black family. That's what we do.
Give me one. Give me one.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
This is what our condition is. I got my own flyer too.
But
financial freedom or spiritual incarceration.
Baba, what's up?
Read the whole verse.
And that's tomorrow.
Muslims, man. You got
Come on, brother. You're a good brother, man.
But look,
you're a good brother, but the only thing you hindered at is that you're giving too much credence
you need to bring
to a baby.
We need to bring ourselves together. To put in this work.
Say something.
To put in this work.
Whenever someone gives a solution, someone else throws more problems. You give a solution, someone else throws more problems. No more putting forth our problems. Try out one of the working mechanisms called the solution. That's what we're telling you to do today. No more of this.
And check this out.
Go ahead, brother.
And it's really not that difficult and hard because this is how sick we are as a people. Because when you look at the Amish community, for example, look at these people. These people bought land, and not only did they buy the land, they decided that we're going to live amongst each other. And not only did they decide we're going to live amongst each other, they said we're going to grow, we're going to make our own foods, we're going to clothe ourselves, we're going to create our own furniture, we're going to build our own homes. So it's only a simple decision to say, listen, we can still continue to pay the rent, or we could be homeowners. And what I mean by that is that we create our own homes, create our own society. And that's the thing that we have lost. So what I want the people to understand is what he said was right and exact. We have to get with a community that's going to develop us and cultivate our creativity so that we can, you know, be self-sufficient.
And this is what I'm going to tell you in the closing. We have to know what to call our problems, how to identify them, so we could properly facilitate. I'm going to tell you this. We say we want freedom, right? Healthcare is a big problem in our community. Healthcare. You see, we're going to talk about who the white man is. We're going to talk about who the devil is. We're going to complain about what we can and what we cannot do. Then after that, we're going to go to him to get our dentist, to go in our mouth and fix our teeth. We're going to go to him to heal our anomalies or fix our pathologies. That's the same person you say you don't trust. So we have to use that sense of distrust we have for our so-called oppressor to properly implement programs that will keep us further from using our oppressor to sustain ourselves. So one of the few things you're going to hear in our community is a program about healthcare. Yet we know our people are plagued severely because of their pathologies, because of the germs, the disease that's going on in the community. This is one of our number one problems. Food is another number one issue of our problems. Our education is another issue in our community. Our economics, our finances is another issue in the community. So what we need is a conscious think tank. We need to say to ourselves, okay, who here has the herbs that can do healing? And then what kind of program can we organize so those herbs can be cheaper for people that can't actually afford them? You see, now we're going to have to talk to you about paying dues. Or now we're going to have to talk to you about paying taxes. And once we start talking like that, then Negroes say, I'm not coming part of that community. What I'm telling you is, in our community, you got to pay taxes. You know why? Because we have to be able to give the people who don't make as much as money in our new covenant community.
I gotta ask you,
hold on, this is important. We're talking about Medicare, man, Medicaid, man. We're talking about insurance here. This is important. I'm gonna explain why insurance is important. When the average Jew child dies, they got it. New Covenant has their own insurance policy. You feel me? When the average person dies, right, in the Jewish community, from just paying a little $180 a month, their child is inheriting $250,000 from paying $180 a month. It wouldn't matter if their parent just set up the policy 3 months ago. So long as it was 3 months ago, their child getting $250,000. The average Negro that dies, what the hell do they leave for their child?
A second mortgage on their property because they used it to pay the funeral bill.
Exactly. You feel me? So now what I'm saying is this. They already got a $250,000 head start. We'll call a lot of this racism, but a lot of it is our low cognition in economics. A lot of it is our low cognition in finance. So you got children, you got parents dying, and their children getting a $250,000 head start on us, because instead of us putting that $150, $180 aside, allocating it month to month, we over here on the line at the House of Hoops buying the Kanye West shits for $200. So we have the money month to month. We could complain we don't, but I see it here in Harlem. We got the money. But what we have to do, real progenitors of society, subconsciously, epigenetically, they understand the expedience of preparing for the future through sacrifice. And that sacrifice is you may have to sacrifice getting your next pair of Jordans. You might have to sacrifice getting your next North Face coat. You might have to sacrifice getting your next pair of mics. That's what this is all about. Any real liberation movement understands that they make the sacrifice now because we're living in a debt wealth society. What does this mean? In order to survive in a debt wealth society, you have to owe money in order for you to get your benefits. If I want an education, something that's primary in everybody's system, I have to owe $15,000, $20,000 student loan. If I want a home, the way most people do it, I'm gonna have to owe $100,000, $200,000, and so forth and so on. So it's a debt wealth society. The main things that you need principle in life, they're gonna tell you you have to engage that. If I want good credit, one of the number one things I gotta do to get good credit is to engage in a debt the way everybody understands it. So the only thing you can do to alleviate or diffuse debt wealth is inherited wealth. If we give the next generation something to inherit, it diffuses the momentum of the debt wealth society. So if the child comes into a home that was already given on to them from the previous generation, that's one less debt or strain or burden financially they have to take on. You understand what I'm saying? If they walk into the family business, then that alleviates them having to get a job or to go to school in an endeavor that they will be able to get a job and then pay back the student loan. You have to diffuse debt wealth with inherited wealth, but that means that this particular generation has to make the sacrifice to prepare for the next generation. That's the only way we're going to get out of it. So we have to start considering how social insurance. We have to start considering passing things down through inheritance and expedience of having certain trusts and private interest holdings and things of this nature. We have to start building wealth. We have to start understanding how to securitize our wealth, and we have to start passing it down.
And you have to learn how to do it under your own jurisdiction.
That's correct.
That is a key component of it that our people have not learned. They have not learned that we have the capacity after denationalization and genocide to literally form our own communities at our own will and the methodology to do so. So that's what we talk about. It's just that simple. If any one of us out here are having problems with all these debts we're talking about, student loans, whatever, how many of you knew that instead of using your social security number, all you needed to know was how to get an EIN, sign up for a business credit account, and use your EIN instead of your whack credit that you got. Your credit score is 570 or 600. These are things that you can learn in 10 and 15 minutes.
That's right.
So anybody, I'm about to leave. Anybody who wants to learn that information, come to the National Black Theater every Monday night at 7 p.m. We giving all this information out. Let me get him.
All day.
7 p.m.
For those who don't know what an EIN is, it's the employer identification number. It's important that you know what they are. Now, the bottom line is here, right? Also want to add on to what the brothers are saying. Like I said, outside of our belief, I'm hearing what they're saying. How many of you are utilizing what's in the community? Like here, I do a talk show. I went to Lehman College, took studio production. See, rather than complain, like you said, once we finish complaining, what you gonna do about it? Like my grandfather told me, you can complain all day, but if you ain't gonna get nothing done, shut up. Now the bottom is you can go down here, you can go word, he did. You can go down here to Manhattan Neighborhood Network. We ain't gotta worry about nobody talking about Oprah, nobody talking about our issues. Get at me at Darkstorm, DARKSTORM 1611 at yahoo.2. At Yahoo. You know he calling me a baby. You know what though? But you can say what you know what I like this stuff. Irregardless, I like this stuff. And I gotta say Polight.
Hey bro.
Shalom, Ali, these guys here are the Ric Flair. Hold up, they're the Ric Flair of debating. The dirtiest debaters in the game.
Peace,
One more time.
Who is it, Ali? You going to Philly?
They're the dirtiest debaters in the game. Woo! But the bottom line is, see, this is what we do. Even though we may not agree, look at how we leaving out here. We're living in peace.
You gotta learn how to answer questions though.
Hold up.
You gotta learn
Brother
how
man,
to answer
hold
questions.
on. How about this? I can't answer a question if I got this man on this side, and you play back the tape, you'll see I got bombarded.
Right.
How am I answer the question? Come on, man.
Handle it though.
You know, but I'm handling it as best I can.
Let me get my man right here.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, man.
What to say, man?
You gotta know how to handle it, man.
What to say, man? You know.
Get that camera out of here, son. I don't think you see us.
We gotta have you out there too.
You don't need me out there, dude. You can turn me on every Tuesday, dude. You good? I don't do the talk. This is like vacation time, dude. We don't do this, but I'm here to support the brothers. And my brother Ali. I mean, that's what I do. Catch me on Tuesday. All good. Shout out to Sidnetta TV.
There you go.
I'm back up in Harlem right now, so yo, check them out.
You already know.
Peace.
Hey yo, one last thing before you go.
All right.
One last thing before you go. I know I'm in that. You want to get on?
Come, baby.
You have something coming up.
Come here.
You have something coming up April the 27th.
I thought.
With Phil Valentine, Delbert Blair, and you dealing. This is the first annual conference of the UFO conference. What can this do? What is this going to do for the black community, brother?
We're going to get on them ships and take off. Get away from this damn white man. Nah, listen.
UFOs are real.
It damn sure is. And UFOs are real too. So listen, come on, don't start. So, listen. He like to bother people. But listen, we're gonna have this first annual UFO conference for melanated people. And the reason why this conference is for melanated people is because a big part of our story is in fact celestial. And the biggest misconception that people have when I make mention of extraterrestrials is the media saturation. Okay? Their mind is super saturated from images and depictions of what we call extraterrestrials, to the extent that we have taken ourselves far away from a dialogue that really belongs in the African's house, or the black man's house, or the melanated person's house. So the extraterrestrial is a centralized theme that brings about understanding for all religions and for all people who exist outside the auspices of religion, for us to meet without confrontation. Because whether you believe in a Yahweh Shah, a Yahweh, a Jesus coming back, a Isa, a Maryam ibn Muhammad, or ibn whoever, doesn't matter.
Is the white man an extraterrestrial?
It depends which white man you're talking about.
What you mean with white? See, now you're playing games.
I'm not bullshitting. But what I'm gonna tell you is this:
man are extraterrestrial.
It depends which white man you're talking about, because the black species,
different creation.
The true melaninated species is extraterrestrial by proxy, and there is a species of who we call white people that come from who you call black people, which in turn by default would make them extraterrestrial. But then you do have earthlings. You do have those people, or a kind of man that has been grafted, okay, or mutated, okay, or engineered, okay, in such a way that they are actually been manufactured on planet Earth. So what I'm telling you is we're going to go deep into this. So brother, Reverend Dr. Phil Valentine is going to go hard. He's going to definitely put it up, put it in. And then we have Dr. Delbert Blair. He's definitely going to put it in. And then of course, I'm going to be revealing data from the book Extraterrestrial and Religion, the eschatological and cosmogonical origins of religions, and retrospect to the ancient civilizations that influenced them.
You know what would be hot, brother? I seen you did a little bit of it today, where you took on the Hebrew and the Muslim at the same time.
I want to do that.
You know, you took on the Hebrew and you took on the Muslim at the same time, and you really bashed them. You know what I'm saying? You said,
That's your opinion, man.
Hebrew today.
Finish what you said.
He bashed the Hebrew, but he ain't bashed no Islam.
No, he did bash Islam.
No, he ain't bashed Islam. Nah, he wasn't tearing nothing up. He wasn't tearing nothing.
Polite, what's that, Polite?
Ali got his ass torn in pieces. I don't even know how he gonna sit down.
What question I answered?
He didn't even answer it now. You ain't got
question
here.
Hold on.
Yeah. Ali can't save you now. Ali was helping you out. He looking for Ali right now. Look at him.
What question I answered?
What question?
Nah, I'm Ali's Imam. What question
He's
I
not
answered?
Ali's Imam. Cut it out.
Don't do that.
I'm Ali's Imam.
You can't do that.
Don't do
You know
that.
damn well. You know damn well you needed Ali here today.
He'll get it. He'll get it. Go ahead.
He made sure,
Ali on what?
He made sure y'all took a little L, not a big L.
Ali on what?
He made sure y'all took a little L, not a big L.
What's the question I answered?
Man, watch the tape. Let's go back to this.
What's the question?
Let's review the tapes. It'll let you know.
Because you don't know the question. You don't know the question.
We'll read what the people say.
That's all right, brother.
Nah,
He got his opinion.
Well, yo, do you think Polite? Do you think? Hold up, Polite. Listen.
No. You're gonna start something, man. I'm gonna have my say, damn it all.
Do you think?
I got bashed.
Do you think, Polite, you can take on
Israelites don't get bashed.
I think this would be powerful if you take on the Hebrew and the Muslim at the same time.
I would love to.
Stan, you can say it loud as you can. Yo, do you hear me?
There's something about religion that keeps the man from embracing the woman.
No, it
and
keeps
giving her the praise that she is due.
What the Quran say about the woman? It says, in fact, the Prophet Muhammad taught that the companions asked him, you know, who's next after Allah and his messenger? He said, your mother. Well, who's after that? Your mother. Who's after that? Your mother. Who's after that? Then your father. So paradise lies under the foot of the mother. We understand that. But to use some word and to express a greatness that's outside of man. No, outside of her man.
Did I not define the word?
Outside of her man and your woman.
It is outside the man. He doesn't go through a 9 months gestation period.
Brother, she has.
It is outside the man. The man doesn't breastfeed, he doesn't have colostrum fluid to give the child everything you need to do what you're doing now.
But bro, without the two, there is not the seed.
This is the question, brother. This is what you're not understanding.
That's just like saying.
Let me explain something to you. Every time we are acknowledging the woman, you keep trying to throw the man in there as if we're throwing him under the bus.
Right, we're not doing
We're not doing that, fam. So
yes, you are. Yes, you
we're
are.
not doing that.
Yes, you are.
Sometimes
you are.
Sometimes.
Yes, you are.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something. If a woman,
we just like she said.
Why you just can't keep it at our women?
Let me just explain why.
Our women are the queens. Our women are the queens.
Listen, you want to use queen? No problem.
Our women have a position in the family. They are the first teachers. They are the first.
My brother.
That's what we keep.
My brother.
That's what we keep.
I have a question. How come we have to call? How come we have to call the woman?
Oh, y'all taking a long time.
My brother. How come we have to call the woman a queen and nobody said don't call those black men gods, call them king? Where was you at? While we've been getting called God the whole time through all these black power movements and conversations. Why don't you have a problem with us being called God? Why you have a problem with the black man being called God in the lessons? Why you don't have a problem with that? Why you not running around telling people stop calling the black man God, call him a king?
First of all,
why you not doing
that? That conversation with somebody that had that ideology, I would approach that. But you was talking about the woman, because in order to become a god, you just don't become a god. You have to. It's a rite of passage to becoming that. So you have to be active.
So there is more than one God than Allah.
In Islam, if you want to become a manifestation of God, there's a certain rite of passage you have to get through in order to have that title.
So are you talking about the worst example of a woman or the greatest example of a woman? Why do I have to be talking about the worst example of a woman?
First of all, bro, you trying to go to something else once again.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to find out.
I'm simply saying,
this is what I'm trying to find
out. Hold on.
I'm trying to find out what's your
problem. You can call yourself a Muslim all you want. The Arabs don't respect you, and the Africans don't respect you as a Muslim. The Arabs don't respect you as a Muslim, and the Africans don't respect you as a Muslim. And you're gonna tell me that there's no racism in Islam? Come on, brother. With that, I gotta go.
Yo, listen, man.
I gotta go.
All we need people to know, when we say the black woman is God.
Hold on, wait, where the verse at? No, get the verse. Get the verse on there.
You cannot have the verse.
Don't worry, I'll post it on the damn YouTube.
Hold up. You cannot. Hold on.
Nobody. Yo,
you cannot.
Wait.
I'm gonna show you racism in Islam. Hold on, brother.
The white man took Egypt, took it out of Africa.
Ignore that.
Took it out of Africa, right? Which we know. He took it out of Africa.
Hold on, bro.
Look, the white man took Egypt out of Africa.
We know that.
He claimed it. Yeah, we do know that. He claimed that as his people.
Listen.
You don't reject that because they did that.
Listen.
So how you gonna tell me?
Hold on.
Oh,
listen.
No, you don't reject Kemet. You don't reject Kemet because the white man had his hand on it and he claimed it for himself. So anybody that's claiming to be Muslim and they go against the Sharia, we don't include them as the Muslim.
Okay, cool. Now, let's go in the hood. Let's go in the hood. We say that there's no racism in Islam.
It's not.
Yet, if there's no racism in Islam, how is it I can go to any one of these corner stores and they can feed me a ham and cheese sandwich and think it's okay?
And a crack pipe.
They can feed me. They can feed me cigarettes and ham and cheese sandwiches. What the hell is that?
That's an error.
What the hell is
an error? That's an error. That's an error. How you try to compare the Quran with an Arab person? How you gonna do that?
You want me to answer?
You can't.
It's the Arab religion. It's the Arab religion.
Yo, hold on, I gotta go, bro.
That's how.
But you cannot hide yourself in somebody else's culture. You gotta accept your own and be your black self.
They stole our culture.
You gotta accept your own and be. No, you stole
theirs. They claiming our culture.
No, you gotta.
They claiming our culture.
As far as the black woman being God,
our culture.
As far as the black woman being God,
letting them claim our culture.
All right, listen. As far as the black woman being God, what we gotta start doing as a people.
One black person that didn't use religion to come up in America.
Listen, brother. Hold on, brother.
Marcus Garvey did. Dr. York did.
Listen.
Elijah Muhammad did.
When we say the
Malcolm X did.
When we say,
I'm gonna give him
Nat Turner.
Hold on. I'm gonna give him 2 minutes to close, and I'm gonna let you close out.
Yeah, you can close out.
Look. Hold on.
Close out.
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to close, and then I'm gonna give him 2 minutes.
When we say that,
no interruptions. Go ahead.
When we say that the black woman is God, family, please listen to us, plain and clear. She too, the word too, she too is also in control of specific aspects of creation that transcend the convention of the man's genitalia. That's one. And two, sometimes society needs to hear a black man attest to the greatness of his woman. Because if a woman does it, guess what? If I were a woman talking right now, y'all would say she's a feminist. Y'all would say that she's suppressing the black man. So now, sometimes it comes a point in our story where the black men now have to say, I bear witness to the greatness of the black woman, so she don't have to take the heat. She don't have to always take the heat. Because I swear to you, if I was a sister right now, dropping these facts and still saying over and over, I'm not trying to suppress the black man. You see what's going on with me? Imagine what they would do to our own women. So I'm a one myself. The black woman is still God. And if somebody else is breastfeeding, if you know a man out there breastfeeding you, if you know a man out there that had to protect you in her womb, okay, in his womb, if you know what a woman goes through mentally and how important it is to have her emotionally intact during the time of those trials of that pregnancy, we would then say, you know what, we have to create a situation that is supremely conducive to the setting that she has to thrive in order to produce more gods. So that's all I'm going to say. The black woman is God. Ain't nothing changing that.
Give it up for Polight, yo. All right, let's let my brother here close out. Go ahead, brother Bashir.
There's no doubt that the woman is very special in her position. She's the teacher, she's the first nurse, she's the first counselor, she is the one that trains and molds the children so they can come up. But also, the counterpart, the male, has a responsibility to that woman and to those children. It is his responsibility so the children can be comfortable, can be taught. So these two people are a garment for one another. So for us to even say the black man is God but leave the woman down is wrong. For us to say that the black woman is God and leave the man down is wrong, because they both must be together. And as far as the talk about the religion has always proved itself to be, when taught properly, to be the most powerful force, in particular Islam. You go back to the Moors, Mansa Musa, you see Islam empire from black people that conquered Spain. You come into America, you look at Nat Turner, took the Bible and led the greatest revolution of all times. Christian man. You look at Harriet Tubman, Christian woman that did what she did from the scripture. You have Marcus Garvey, Christian man. They had God as in God outside of ourselves in their theme, in their motto, but they brought everyone together. Noble Drew Ali, more Islam. Dr. York, he also had School of Islam, the School of Hebrew, so on and so forth, but religion was used. You have Elijah Muhammad. Hold up. You have Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad. He also used religion, Islam. You have Malcolm X. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. So the thing is that the legislation of the Quran is the thing that is going to definitely save us, to put our men and women back where they need to be. Because right now, we're saying the black woman is God, the black man is God, but look at the condition. We shouldn't even be calling ourselves God at all.
We don't. We call each other niggas.
Hold up. Exactly, and that's what we do. But amongst this group, we're still doing the same thing and still calling yourself gods. I see a contradiction in the God talking itself until we get to a point where we understand to take care of our women, our children, our community. But the man got to stand up and provide for his woman so she can do what she got to do. And take both.
All right, let's give it up for our brother Bashir, y'all. Come on, man. That's what's up. That's what's up.
We can work with you on that.
You still gonna get this work though?
Yeah, I hope so.
You gonna
because
get this
he
work.
running on that Arabic. He running on that Arabic.
There you go. That's good. I like that, to show the people that we're not fighting.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He's a good brother,
These brothers love each other, man. We just sparring and shopping in our
love, man. This is for the community. You see the people that come out. If they was, a lot of people would have been shopping and buying sneakers, patronizing this Caucasoid, but they stop when they hear us building, and that tell you the spirit of truth is in our people.
There you go, man. And
but we gotta see who the daredevils are.
I am. I'm right here. Your baby according to who? One more time. You.
Not only me, I guarantee Polight will tell you you're a baby.
No, according to who?
Compared to who
See,
he was up against
one more time. See, it's all about perspective, right? Because I can sit there and call y'all a baby. See, it's all about.
You good, but it wouldn't be true.
You're not ready.
You good, but it wouldn't be true.
Number one, you're not a scientist.
Oh, look, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You're not a
Come on, Obi-Wan the Negro. Come on, stop, man. According to who, nigga? Knock it off, nigga. Knock it off. Never go hard now. You got that, man. You don't call. See, bottom line is, you got Obi-Wan Kenobi over here trying to talk about I'm not ready. If I wasn't ready, I wouldn't be standing here, and I stand on it like a rock. Like I said, if you don't believe, don't.
Now I just wanted to know some history on you, because it does. I ain't trying to play you, but
yes, you are.
It's like your scripture game is whack, brother. I don't know, man. I mean, seriously.
Shots fired.
No.
Shots fired.
First of all,
see, you gotta talk. Let him finish. Let him finish. Let him come to
This is the heavyweight
you. ain't got no discipline, man.
Wait, look who's
That's why you can never be down with AOC.
You ain't no AOC.
He's talking. Let him finish, and then you answer him.
You shot me down. How many times?
I seen AOC Coon's remix.
I've been quiet about how many
this what I'm saying,
I seen the Coon track that the AOC came out with.
What are you gonna say?
The only reason
come to you and
the people. Now, when you were saying, first of all, the Israel thing, bro, you never can mess up on that. I mean, come on now. Second, you're talking about, when you was talking about Isaac and Ishmael, you was incorrect about that as well. If you knew the scripture. No, you was incorrect about that according to the scripture. Because the scripture, beloved, clearly tells you that Isaac was blessed the nation, and Ishmael too was blessed the nation, right? Hold on, wait a minute.
I never discounted that.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, dog.
You
can't be AOC.
Sonata, I hear all day long, and you run the tape, you'll see Ali was all in the freaking camera.
You are not the AOC that's chatting Coon.
How you gonna see me and not see Ali?
You can't be the group that was chatting Coon.
Really?
Are you the group that was chatting Coon?
Really?
You're not from that group.
Alright, man.
Go ahead.
No, but you said some things about Ishmael, and then you was discrediting him. Then you said they was cousins, and then you still said you did say that, bro. When you hear the tape.
You said that.
Anyway, you said we was related, but your cousins turned on you, and then that's why they not. I guess not your cousins no more. But the scripture in itself. Hold up, the scripture in itself. Genesis 17. No, they don't. Genesis 17. You can read that chapter there, verses 2 through 17. It clearly establishes the covenant that was made with Isaac and made with Ishmael through the lineage of Ibrahim or Abraham. Wait. And he said, so here's the question. Since you say you learned. The question is, was Ishmael granted a great nation? And if so, what is the nation?
Yes, he was.
The nation of Arabs?
He was given
Polight.
a blessing.
Babyface Imam versus baby Hebrew.
Let's get this clear. My babyface Imam is from here, not from the lack of knowledge. Let's understand that.
Babyface.
Let's understand.
They say babyface.
Right.
Babyface versus you being known as a baby Hebrew now. He gonna his name stick.
That's right.
No.
They gonna pull you out of pocket.
Now that baby means lack of knowledge.
Right.
Hold on.
He gonna be like this.
Lack of knowledge according to her.
Like, shut down.
Hold on. Hold on. Lack of knowledge. I know you ain't talking, because earlier on I saw Ali and the baby face over here had Polight shook and everything else. Then I heard with Polight, hold on, I also with Polight had you shook. So when you talk about my scripture game is whack, you ain't pulled one. So don't be careful what you say. Now the bottom line is
how you gonna have a scripture that teach you that the woman don't have the right to teach a man? Like a woman.
God said don't do it. That's why.
That he gonna say that God said my congregation is a congregation of men. I'm not trying to disrespect people, but it sounds a bit homosexual, man.
Yeah.
No, we gonna push the woman out. I only want a congregation of dudes up in the building, so we can talk about God. Come on, man. And are you suggesting to me? Hold on. Are you suggesting? Hold on. Are you listen?
No, according to
how you gonna profess a woman can't learn something and teach you something?
Right.
First of all, you come out of her. So how you don't have the right to tell her she can't teach you something, and she's the one gave birth to you? Now, you know what? Listen, I'm done, because it's about to get weird. Tahuti, don't show your face in fucking New York if you lose to Imam. Y'all better go to Georgia with that shit. Go to Georgia with that shit, Tahuti.
Papers already.
But I'm telling you, don't come back. Don't come back to New York if it's even close.
He already said he's a hitch woman.
Hey, yo, Natural. If you let Imam Bashir get the best of you for this black woman is God debate, this is your doctrine, this is the main thing everybody knows that you teach. If you let Bashir get you, I swear to you, I will protest myself and make sure your ass can't come back to New York.
It's on the record.
Hell yeah, it's on the record.
And I'm gonna have the damn camera and say, when we getting to Tahuti out of New York.
This is your promotion, Tahuti. Brother Polight supports Tahuti on the black woman is God.
I tell you what. I bet you $100.
I was about to bet $100 too. I bet $100 too.
You don't know. Yo, look.
I bet $100.
You know I don't gamble, but I will do this.
Most of us about to gamble.
I will do this.
Give it away. It's Sakai.
Tahuti agree, and this ain't no talk
Don't
like
hate the
other
money.
people do. But if it's decisive, whoever wins, we gotta study on them for real, like real talk, for at least a year. How about that?
If what? Say it again.
6 months, a year. What? What are you talking? What you? I'm talking serious.
I want some money.
I heard that for
I
real.
want some money, too.
I'm talking between me and Tahuti.
He don't want to come with the money. He trying to use his little Islam joint.
You know I don't gamble.
Hold on.
I can't
He trying to
gamble.
use his Islam joints.
I can't gamble.
I got 200 to your $100 that Tahuti gonna wash them up.
I believe Tahuti's gonna win.
I'm giving you money off.
I'm not betting my money against Tahuti on that debate. He debated Ali on that.
Right.
And he had a good time with Ali. Bashir is not Ali Muhammad.
Right. I'm not.
And Tahuti put a lot of work in on that Ali Muhammad debate.
You know how I know that Tahuti gonna wash him up? Because he can't go back in history. His Quran is not gonna take him that far enough.
It's a handicap match.
Hold on. Wait. Watch this.
One nigga's coming in there with a wheelchair,
Hold on.
while the other nigga is high on steroids.
Hold on. No.
It's a handicap match.
First of all, I'm glad.
Tahuti, you gonna get locked up for beating on this man in a wheelchair.
I'm glad the history is there. But let me fire a cannon at Tahuti real quick. So, just to let you know what you coming into. What you coming into.
Don't come back to Tahuti.
Son of Setmet. The son of Setmet. Bad boy of consciousness.
And Kalimar.
Let's look at this. He named himself the son of Setmet. Obviously, that's his mother. But let's look at Setmet and what she did and how she functioned, right? So look, Setmet being the radiation from the sun, she was a goddess deity, right? But look, she was fierce. She's known to be a fierce warrior. However, one day she got so fierce because the people was breaking the laws of Ma'at that her husband Ptah seen that she was upset and she wanted to destroy the people. But her husband Ptah, he actually got beer and poured pomegranate juice in it to turn it red. And so it can emulate being blood. Then pour the blood out so Setmet can go and drink the blood and relax. That's what she did. So she drank the blood, which is like a damn vampire. Secondly, she gonna sit there and then pass out for 3 days. And then when she woke up, she was nice and calm. This is who you say your mother is. This is who you say God is. Well, hold up. But just there, what you do understand is that the male deity was the creator and the higher power in the first place. The male deity, her husband, put her to sleep. So she could be God, but she's a lesser God.
Polight already
she's a
proved
lesser
to you,
God.
Polight already proved to you last year that God, Allah, has a womb.
No, Polight said, no, he didn't. Polight said in the camera, that Allah was actually Allah, or Allah derivative from Allah. Hold on, wait. Now, that is false. Matter of fact, we have the Quran right here. I'm glad you brought that up. Because we don't need to go through that again. But secondly, hold up. Hold up. This is the problem.
Y'all are the artistic,
this the problem.
autistic, man.
Hold up.
Stay focused.
This the problem.
Stay focused, man.
This the problem. Let's stay focused.
Come on, baby Hebrew, cut it out.
Let's stay focused. No. Let's stay focused. I ain't even pulling out the book. Allah is Alif Lam Lam Ha. Allah is Alif Lam Lam Ta. What he's trying to say is Alif Lam Lam Ta is essentially Alif Lam Lam Ha. Do you see there's a different spelling in the alphabet in itself? So let's go. But let's say this in the context of what the Quran is saying. In the context. The Quran is clear. Kul hu wallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yulit wa lam yulat wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Say he, right? Say he, huwa. Say he is Allah. He is one, independent, besought of all. He begets not, nor is he begotten. And there is none unto him. So therefore the context of the Quran itself will expressly show that Allah is not Allah, but rather Allah was a deity, and we can prove that easily when we put it on the wall for the people. So it's not a problem. You can say what you want, but you can't prove it historically. You can't prove it historically. Tahuti gonna get murked.
Listen. We don't even have to turn. We don't even have to turn Allah into a lot. we can go to the Igbo tribe in Nigeria, and they call on a god named Allah, which is a female god of creation, which existed way before Islam was even considered or conceived. The Igbo.
What's the head deity of Igbo?
Stop.
Go ahead.
Get like baby.
No, you know how we do. Come on, you know how we do. Go ahead. It's all good. Me and Polight did here before.
What you don't understand,
You be amping it, man.
what you don't understand, when you asking for a head deity, you don't understand that the Igbo have a hierarchy to which end they do their deification or their worship. So the deity that was principal and paramount to creation was called Allah, and they worshipped Allah, and Allah was a female goddess of creation, a womb deity which existed well before Islam in the same area that Islam will also find itself in Nigeria. But they won't accredit this. And we also know that Prophet Muhammad's family last name was Abdullah. There was Abdullah. And then Islam comes in and makes them Abdullah, servants of Allah, the masculine. But prior, what was Prophet Muhammad's family's last name? They were servants of the female goddess. And then when Prophet Muhammad comes in, he becomes an Abda of Allah, or Abdullah, a servant of the masculine. So what I'm telling you is this. You got bodied in the past. You're about to get bodied now before your debate. I'm not trying to take the light from Brother Tahuti. I want people to be able to give Tahuti his credit. Don't have me doing this shit right now. This is not fair.
You already know Tahuti gonna body him, man.
Look. First of all,
You
come on,
man.
First of
We
all,
love you.
no, that's
We
fine.
love you, man.
I'm sure you know you ain't sweating me. You know you ain't. You know there ain't no problem
Yo,
with me.
listen, man. I'll be damned if someone who's down with the money team is gonna lose to some damn Muslim.
You dealing with
That's right. May 19th, that's the day after the debate, right? ATL, May 18th. ATL, we're gonna be down there. And May 19th, or whenever we come back to New York, make sure that you here so we can have his official funeral.
If
And then hold on. So we can have his official funeral.
I'm gonna take Imam on for a debate.
And then you come get your body on the black woman that's guy. Go ahead.
If it was up to Imam,
yes,
he beat you. He beat Ali Muhammad.
Imam
beat everybody. He went up.
Hold on.
Who won that debate between you and Ali Muhammad?
I did, of course.
Told you.
Hold up.
Who won that
Wait.
debate between you and
Hold
Ali?
up. Watch this. This is how you tell. This is how you tell when somebody is saying something based on real sound information. All right. What did Ali show you that I didn't show you, which made him win the debate? What did he show you specifically that would make you say I didn't win the debate?
Who won the debate?
I'm asking you why you saying he lost the debate.
First.
Who won the debate? Who won the debate between you and Polight?
I did, of course. Hold up. First of all, wait. Hold up. First of all, wait.
Consensus
Hold
online?
up. Did you get the consensus online?
Are you reading the same thing?
First of all,
are you reading your own
I said
comments?
online. What are you talking about?
Is
online.
he reading his own comments?
Hold up. First thing is.
Hold on, man, bro.
Hold up.
Do you want to go on YouTube right now and read the consensus?
Look, yeah, let's go on YouTube right now and read the consensus. Before we establish this point. Now, he's absolutely right about that. Now, hold up. Wait.
Hey, on YouTube.
No.